gifted a tier 1 sub to Bacon with Eggs.
Hello, hello, I'm great. Thank you for having me. That's the first thing a lot of people seem to notice. Do you need me to shrink myself down? Wait, wait. Oh, wait, I have a toggle for this. I never get to use this.
Oh, a sitting toggle. It's so perfect. Well, welcome in, everyone. If this is your first Hen Talks, I have a set of questions that I kind of ask, and you guys are also free to ask questions, too. So, Kori, I know you're a Kingpin, which is kind of like a crime boss, right?
Yes.
So, is that...
Chat is saying you're muted. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they're trolling you.
Guys, am I muted? Can you hear me, chat? Okay, I'm fine now.
Okay, okay. I apologize.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. So what's a little bit of your lore and how did you come up with it?
Oh god. There's quite a few layers to the lore that have been expanded and cast aside over the years I've streamed, but the general gist is okay. hold on. Let me go back to the start. So before I became a raccoon and crime boss, I was just a ghost VTuber. And I enjoyed that for a while, but I thought, you know, it's not quite 100% me, right? So the general lore was I was a young woman who broke into a wizard's tower and got struck in the eye with an ice trap, and that turned me into a ghost. That was the lore, how it used to be. And now, after a few years of VTubing and falling in love with organized crime media, I was like, man, I really like being I really like organized crime media. I really like raccoons. What if I just like tack that on? So perhaps driven by newfound determination or perhaps vengeance on this trap that I was struck with in my unsuccessful stealing attempt, I will take fate back into my own hands or whatever and be a bit more proper about the whole stealing thing.
Yeah.
As you can see, I am not 100% invested in the whole lore thing, but
it's okay. That's why I like to ask, because some VTubers have like a really deep lore, and then the others are like, oh, I just like, you know, raccoons.
Yeah.
And both are fine.
Do you have a lot of lore?
I do. I love to write, so I wrote myself a ton of lore, and then I rewrote it because I decided I hated it. But essentially my lore right now is I'm kind of a man-made angel, and I'm here to bring back hope to the world, because, you know, a lot of people, they're going through the big sad lately, and I want to bring back hope and light.
I'm sorry, I feel so bad. I'm like, I want to be rich. And you're all cute, like, oh, I want to bring light and hope back into the world.
No, you're so good. Honestly, you're so real for that.
No, but it's cute. You know, it's really cute to have a nice inspirational, you know, theme behind things.
Yeah, and that's
also very cute.
That's again why I always like to ask, just because so many people have so many different lores too. And you get some people who have like really intense lore, like they were their parents died and they were fighting crime, and then they became a superhero, like a Batman kind of origin story. And then you just get people, you know, who are like, I just like this animal, and that's cool too.
I can't complain because half of my like TTRPG characters have a ton of like over the top tragic lore, so I totally get it.
Oh, do you play like D&D or Starfinder?
I play mainly Pathfinder 2nd Edition at the moment. I do have a long-running D&D campaign as well.
Nice.
But mostly just Pathfinder 2nd Edition right now.
That's awesome. I have a friend who plays Pathfinder.
I have such a hard time like going back to 5e after playing so much Pathfinder.
Mhm. But it honestly, from the description, it always sounded like so much fun.
Oh yeah, I really do love it. Especially if you can get a group going that has sort of the same interests or play style. Like our
Mhm.
group really likes doing RP and bickers a lot. So that works out really good. But I can't
Yeah.
imagine playing like in a group that's like full on strategic combat. I think I would just fall asleep.
No, same. Would Bat DM? Sorry, someone said something. So when did you debut? So you mentioned you had a ghost model first, and now you're a
Yeah.
raccoon.
So I first started vtubing, or rather, well, I started as a PNG, but I'm just gonna say vtubing for the sake of simplicity. In June 2021.
Mhm.
Yes, it's been 2.5 years as of December. And like I said, I started out as a PNG that my friend drew. So really just like zero budget sort of started.
That's the best way to start, honestly. It's just
yeah,
to test the waters.
I made all the overlays myself, and everything was like really bad from like the audio setup and everything. And eventually, upgraded the PNGs, got a 3D model, got this model over the years. So it's been a bit of a journey, but I do still remember like the first games I streamed and how the first few streams went, and how I accidentally kept saying my IRL name during like the first 2 streams.
Honestly, too real, because sometimes I'm like, oh wait, don't say name, don't say real name.
Yeah, sometimes you have to like pause for like 30 seconds before
Yeah.
you're about to say something.
And then you're like, wait, which name did I just say? But that's really awesome that you drew your first assets. And honestly, like, there's such a learning curve to streaming. I did not think that I would have to learn so much just to go live, and I'm still learning things every day.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like you learn something new like every other week, even after you've been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
go ahead.
especially after watching other streamers and how they do things, or they have their setups, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, you're like constantly inspired as well, because it's such a diverse field, right? Like you meet new people every week, and there's just a lot to learn, especially in the VTubing niche as well.
Yeah, I'm still learning so much. How did it feel to debut once you got, your Kingpin Kori model? Were you anxious? Did you do like a formal re-debut?
Yeah, so I didn't actually do like a debut when I first started, but I did do a 3D model debut and reintroduce myself, and then obviously another debut for this model. I did do the PowerPoint slides because, how can I not do it?
You gotta have the PowerPoint slides.
I remember I themed it after like a police report, and I was very proud of sort of theming the PowerPoint after my character. Yeah, I was nervous because the design was quite different. I mean, it's not like starting over completely with like a whole different design. I did base this design off of my old one.
Yeah.
But it was nerve-wracking because it was a new medium for me. And I know a lot of new people would come in because, whenever you debut, it's like a big marketing opportunity. I think I was more nervous about it from a business point than I was anywhere else, because I knew my community would like it. I was so nervous when I first revealed this design. So I didn't reveal the design during the debut. I had it like shown off almost a year before the actual debut, because I wanted people to know what their money was going towards, right? Like I told them, hey, I really, really want this model, and if you're willing to support it, I'm gonna get it. And that was way more nerve-wracking to me than my actual debut, I think, to like present this new form that was so different. Because I don't think my community would have ever left unless I made a drastic shift. But it
Mhm.
was still like the idea of something new, pitching something new was very, um very nerve-wracking, yeah.
Yeah, but your chatters are saying, you know, the slides look great. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I do care a lot about doing things a certain way, right? Like
yeah.
not perfectly, but like I like theming things.
Honestly,
I
I'm a
like theming
perfectionist, so
things.
I totally get it.
It was a fun stream. I think I did okay reintroducing myself to new people.
Mhm.
There's probably things I could have done better, but you know that you're always gonna say that. So I'm pretty happy with how it went. But yes, I was definitely nervous.
Yeah, there's always like that one thing that you feel like, oh, you know, next time I can do such and such, or oh my gosh, I made a spelling error and I didn't see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
All the time. I was going through so my 1 year anniversary stream is tomorrow, and I was going through my slides like, is everything okay? And this was like the 6th time I've already gone through them because I'm super anxious about it. So I've been just going through it like every day, and I found 2 spelling errors. I was like, how did I miss that?
If you want, I don't mind proofreading it for you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, and for the new people that came in, you guys are also allowed to ask Kori questions. This is kind of like an open floor kind of situation where I ask questions and you guys are free to as well. And, you know, they could be anything from like, Kori, what's your favorite kind of cereal?
Crave.
I love Crave.
Well, okay, honestly, like Crave as the type of cereal, but there's like a Lidl slash Aldi off-brand Crave that is called hazelnut pillows. That one, because Crave is too expensive. What about you? What's your favorite?
I would have to say it's probably like the Reese's cereal. Because it's peanut butter and chocolate. I love that. It's sugary and good.
I don't think I've had the Reese's cereal, but I've had Reese's peanut butter cups before.
I
And they
love
were
peanut butter
delicious.
cups.
Yeah.
They just came out with this new it's not like peanut butter cups, but it's like animal crackers with the peanut butter cup stuff on it. So it's like peanut butter animal cracker chocolate, and it's really good.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's really good. Yeah. What have you been watching while crocheting lately? Oh, you crochet? That's awesome.
Yes, I crochet, and I know it's very gap moe, but yes, I crochet.
Hey, even crime bosses need a hobby.
Yeah, so I've been crocheting and knitting for a few years. I don't actually know how long. I want to say like 5 years now. With breaks on and off, because you know, hands and also trying to do other things. My favorite thing is to make our stuffed animals.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
But
what's your favorite stuffed animal that you've made?
Well, people are posting the emote of Mr. Tubbs, which was the he was the first ever stuffed animal I made. I love him dearly, but he is a little janky. He was a gift for one of my friends. I don't actually have him anymore. Like everyone's like, "Oh, say hi to Mr. Tubbs." I'm like, I don't own him.
No.
he belongs to one of my friends.
Well, that
I
means
think
you
my
can still see
favorite.
him whenever you want, you know?
Yeah. I think my favorite stuffed animal I've made was the red panda I made for my friend Kieran, who's in chat.
Hello,
She had an
Kieran.
event recently where she gave away a crochet panda that I offered to make her.
Yeah.
And it came out so cute. I'm so happy with it.
That's
And it really
awesome.
hurt me to send it off to Kieran last week. I wanted to keep him.
That's awesome. Oh, I've always wanted to learn to crochet, but I don't have like the coordination for it. So I like struggle.
Well, it's a skill, right? Like you have to start somewhere. I think my hand coordination really is only as good as it was when I started crocheting because I really used to be into Osu. like first-person shooters,
Yeah.
right? Like you can sort of train your hand-eye coordination from that. Um, and then it's just, getting into the habit.
Mhm.
Honestly, stuffed animals are very easy to make. A lot of people would recommend you start with granny squares,
Yeah.
which are worked in the round, and you essentially can sew granny squares together to make a blanket.
Mhm.
But what no one tells you is to make a blanket out of granny squares, you're gonna have to make like 150 granny squares.
That's a lot.
And that's just like way too much to ask of someone that's only starting out,
Yeah.
right? Meanwhile, with like a stuffed animal, you could crank that out in like 2 weeks and you have something to sit on your shelf.
Mhm.
And um stuffed animals only really use like 3 different stitches. Like they're really easy to make, but they
Mhm.
can get very complex. Like I would say Mr. Tubbs was super, super easy to make. And that's something to look at,
Yeah.
It's nice to have. So if you're thinking about crocheting, um
Well, I want to make
I
one
am
of those
completely
crocheted chickens that are like a big blob with a chicken face. I love them.
Oh, yes, I've seen those. Yeah. They're really cute. And I mean, like, you need like what, maybe like 3 colors for that.
Yeah.
And you could probably whip that up very, very quickly. I mean, they're very popular for like markets
Mhm.
because
That's where I
experienced
saw
crocheters
one.
can like, yeah, experienced crocheters can crank those out in like half an hour.
Mhm.
So I think they should be fairly easy to make. And yeah, no, stuffed animals are really a good place to start.
Yeah.
If you're into tabletop RPGs, dice bags are also very, very easy to get started on. And they don't require you to make 80 of them for a whole blanket. So
Definitely good to
um,
start small. My sister tried to teach me to knit because she knits, and I was failing so bad at it. She's like, "Why can you not get a single stitch on your knitting needle?"
oh my god. Honestly, like I think crocheting. So here's the thing, like I've done both a lot,
Mhm.
right? Like I also have like a blanket I'm knitting at the moment on the side.
Mhm.
Um I honestly think crochet is easier to start with because if you fuck up with knitting, sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, you're good. I don't curse,
Okay,
but you are 100% free to.
I should have asked before, but anyway, if you make a mistake with knitting, it's very hard to fix
Mhm.
because you're working with like 50 stitches on the needles at once, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, 50 is maybe a bit exaggerating it, but
Mhm.
um if you mess it up, you have to like undo it or ladder it up from the bottom. It's just like a whole ideal. Meanwhile, with crocheting, yes, the stitches can get more complex, but you're working on one stitch at a time. So if you make a mistake, you can just undo up until that stitch, restart, do it over, and focus on each individual stitch rather than having to maneuver 2 needles that each have 25 stitches on them. And if one just happens to slip off, it's gonna be very, very hard to fix. So um crocheting is to be honest a lot easier to pick up, and I feel it's very rewarding. I personally, again, I love crocheting dice bags and plush animals, but for things like blankets and scarves and mittens and stuff, I've mostly knitted those. But I think you'll have an easier time picking up knitting once you have done crochet. And there's a lot of very great resources out there. I mean, you can learn anything on YouTube nowadays, right?
Yeah,
Um,
YouTube's a great
but
place.
there's
That's where I learned
also
how to VTube.
I mean, there's also and I don't want to like advertise because I'm not affiliated with them or whatever.
Mhm.
But there's this company called Woobles, which makes
I've
little
seen
crochet kits.
them.
hmm I haven't personally bought them because it's not like that appealing to me because I'm not a beginner.
Yeah.
But those kits come with like everything you need to make a little stuffed animal
Mhm.
and cards with tutorial videos for both left and right-handed folks. And the yarn is specifically made to be as easy to work with as possible. It looks very, very good. Like, I think if I had a friend that wanted to learn it, I would be very happy to gift them a kit because it does look very well done.
Yeah, I see them advertised mostly on TikTok. So,
Yes.
like, I know TikTok shop is like huge now, and they're always like, buy our TikTok shop thing. And I'm like, maybe I should get like into some kind of handicraft because I like painting and I like drawing. I'm not very good at either, but I enjoy them. And I usually do it like while watching anime.
Oh, crocheting and knitting is so good to do while watching something. I don't personally speak Japanese, so I'd have to read the subtitles, and that's why I can't do it while crocheting and knitting. But it's great if you would just want to put on a movie or a show or a podcast or something and work along. It's
Mhm.
amazing, and I find it very therapeutic to do as well. Like
Yeah.
almost it's almost like a form of meditation for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend it if you're looking to start a new hobby. I think crocheting is super rewarding.
I would love to start a new hobby. I think my family would kill me. It's the ADHD pick up a new hobby like every month, you know.
But if you're interested and want to learn more, I'd love to, you know, tell you all about it sometime.
Yeah. I would be super interested in learning.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you said about the TikTok shop thing. If I was like rich or had a little less impulse control, I think I would buy like all those little gadgets that are
Oh my gosh,
advertised in all those like videos, like the
they're so
Amazon
different.
gadgets.
Every time I see a things you didn't know you could buy on Amazon to make your life easier video, I'm like, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy any of it, but I have to watch it.
It's like, here's a crab that can hold your like cooking spoon or whatever. I'm like, oh my
Yes.
god, I need
Here's a spoon that can portion out the perfect size of spaghetti for one person. I'm like, I don't eat spaghetti that often, but that would be so useful.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm definitely susceptible to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe telemarketing would have worked on me if I was part of a different
Oh my
generation.
gosh, I would be so easily like inducted into a cult. All you have to say is like, oh my gosh, we have like, you know, bears that you can pet, and I'll be like, sign me up.
Listen, if bears are so deadly, why are their ears so cute?
I
like,
know.
Seriously.
If not friend, why friend shaped? Oh, hello, bear.
He knows, it's fine.
So, what are some of your future goals as a VTuber?
Oh man, I don't even know.
Are there like song covers you want to put out? A 2.0 you want to go for?
Oh god. Okay, so here's the thing. Ever since I started, my big goal was I want a 2D model.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I got this 2D model, I've been trying to aim smaller. Right? Because like, oh, I got my big goal, you know, what's next? What's next? What should I do next? I've been slowly working toward filling out my emote slots. I suppose that's a bit of a goal because I don't draw those myself.
Yeah.
I actually owe 3 song covers from my first ever event that I did, and I just never got around to it. So hopefully I can knock some of those out next year. At least one of them, right? Surely.
Yeah,
one
of them.
Surely I could do one of those 3 eventually.
Are you aiming for like anime OPs or Vocaloid songs? What kind of song cover would you want to do?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that on live.
Oh, you want to do
But I
a
might
surprise?
DM you later if you want. I can DM you later.
German Schlager?
No.
The content depth that, oh, I get it. I just did my first donathon. I'm still working on rewards for that.
Yeah, I think it's important to be transparent with it, right? Like, I mean, like I said, this was like my first ever event. It was our second ever event from like 2 years ago, and everyone at the time knew the covers were gonna take a while because they were like so out of my comfort zone, right? I'm not a singer at all. But I do try to deliver on every single reward that I promise because it's important to, you know, keep your word, right? And if you can't for one circumstance or another, I think all you can really do is be transparent, be like, hey, this is either going to take me a while, or hey, time has passed, I've thought it over, I'm not comfortable with it. Would you be down to communicate or compromise on an alternative or something like that? And I think people are very, very understanding. Because the incentives are often just like little bonuses. Like they're primarily supporting you to support you, you know? So.
Do you have a preference between BTTV and 7TV? Is that a question for me or for Kori?
And we can both answer.
I don't have a preference, personally.
I think I prefer 7TV just because it has like much higher limits, right? Like unless you donate on BTTV, you can only have like 30 emotes or something. And yeah, I mean, I suppose I like 7TV because it gives me more more options.
Yeah. There definitely are a lot of emotes on there. I was scrolling through to see which ones I wanted to add. 7TV has BTTV attached, but 7TV also just lets you have so many more emotes for free. Yeah, there's a ton, and people have so many. I have to figure out which ones.
Yeah, I think your maximum emote slots on 7TV are like 600 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What's one of your favorite VTubing memories?
I don't know. There's a lot. If I have to pick one, that's rough.
Well, you could pick a few.
I mean, there's a few. I mean, I was very proud of the wrestling show I did
you did
a few months ago.
Show?
Yeah. Okay, so I had a wrestling show last year called Kori Mania, and it was essentially just an excuse to have my friend who was interested in doing content creation sort of you know, stick his toes in it without actually committing to anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, we can do this. You like wrestling a lot. I was thinking about doing like a wrestling show. We can pre-record it and we can just air it on Twitch live and people can comment on it. And that way it's like low risk and we can just have fun.
Yeah.
And it ended up being oh, he's here. It's the government 36 is who I'm talking about. And we just sat down and we recorded and we had so much fun. And then I edited it all together and then we aired it, I think it was in March last year. And that was so fun. And then this year I was a bit more ambitious. I was like, I really want to do it again. But of course I need to outdo myself from last year.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a tournament style like I did last year, we decided to build off of the tournament and what happened and made like promo videos wrestling has, right?
Yeah.
Like how wrestlers have like backstories and then feuds with other wrestlers.
Yeah.
So we did that and I took okay, a bunch of artists in my community offered to volunteer, or rather I asked if any artists are willing to volunteer for my community, and there were a lot of people that signed up. And then with that help we managed to create a I think it's about 2-hour long show.
Wow.
With lore videos and a storyline and everything and guests, and it was so fun.
And she turned me down.
No, he actually did make one of the lore videos. He's just lying, don't worry. I originally turned him down and then I realized how much work I had to do and I was like, please help me. Yeah. I take it back. But no, I'm really proud of it because in a sense it's like me directing a whole movie, right?
Yeah.
But obviously it sounds a bit more fancy than it actually is. But I did write the storylines and had my friends do some voice acting, and I created all the characters for it, and it's just a project I'm incredibly proud of. And I don't know if it did like super well, like metrics wise or whatever, but I honestly don't care.
Fun.
I'm just really happy I did it.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably one of my favorite memories.
That's
yeah,
awesome. It sounds so fun. I'm gonna have to catch it if you do it again this year.
Oh no, that was this year. That was
I missed it.
November. Yeah. To be fair, it's also like not like super easy to like jump in on because it has like all the lore. But if I ever do it again, I don't know how I'm gonna do it again and better. I will try my best to market it a bit more perhaps. But it's very much like a celebration of community memes and all that. We had some posters made by people featured, like how, you know how like wrestling shows have like audience signs and stuff. We had some of those shown and stuff. It was really fun.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah. Other than that, I see there's a lot. Like I don't want to say other than that I have no fun memories of streaming because every day is a fun memory, right?
Yeah.
Oh Man, I'm drawing a bit of a blank though. I think another fun memory I can think of right now is when I first got to know who is now a very good friend of mine, Kieran.
Mhm.
You know, it was an awkward stage when you're like new friends with someone and not particularly close. And she DM'd me or said in my chat or something, Kori, I love you. And I and I said, Kieran, I don't think we're that close. And now we're like constantly like jokingly flirting with each other and stuff. But like the idea of me a few years ago being like, Kieran, I don't think we're that close. It just makes me laugh.
You laid down the law. You're like, we're not that close. And Kieran's like, you know what? You're my wife now.
Yes, basically. It was no, it was I was reminded of I didn't even remember that this happened until Kieran told me about it. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like something I would have done. That definitely sounds like me.
I love that though.
Do you have a favorite memory you want to share?
Oh my gosh, I have so many good memories. It's kind of hard to pick one, but some of my favorite memories are like with the people I've interviewed. They just
Oh, really?
yeah, because unfortunately I don't really collab otherwise because I'm not really good at games, so I'm afraid to like reach out for game collabs. I started playing Monster Hunter World recently, so I do want to collab with a few people on that. But really just like interviewing people and getting to talk to them has been really awesome. I got to interview. Reminds me of when Bat called out Tenshi and declared we're friends now. Oh yeah, that happened in Bat's chat. But just getting to interview people, like I got to interview Bat and Grape and George and Colt and like a lot of people that I want to be friends with. Like I always say, 10 Talks is just an excuse to talk to really cool people.
Hell yeah! I mean, you know, it's definitely I think part of VTubing and why VTubing has been so important to me is just the connections, you know, you've made
Yeah.
with other fellow content creators or chat members and stuff like that. So it's very special, and I'm again very very honored to be here as part of the show.
Bikin, that is not true. And Milo, thank you for following. I'm sorry I can't thank everyone for following like in the moment. I do see the notification. But it's, you know, when you're talking to someone and looking at chat and like doing both at once. But I'm really glad to have you on.
I was honestly so stunned because I don't I mean, I don't know. I don't get to collab. I don't get asked to collab a whole lot. That's probably also because I don't tend to reach out to people nearly as much as I should. So I was very surprised to be invited onto an interview show. But it's fun. I mean, you know, I think collabs are very fun.
Yeah, I always have a great time with them. She literally can't speak to other people.
He's not wrong, but I'm gonna choose to be upset about that comment.
Kori isn't scary. Some people, when I told my friend I was gonna have you on, he said, "Oh, Kori's scary." I'm like, Kori's not scary.
I don't know. Some people think I'm intimidating. I don't know why.
You have a great presence, and I think that's why. Like, you have a very, very large presence, and people get intimidated by that.
What did she mean by this? I don't know. I think it's also that I tend to be pretty firm with boundaries and stuff, right?
That's a good
like
thing.
I will tell my chat to like fuck off, right?
Yeah.
So I can see how maybe that part of my personality can be off-putting or intimidating. Sorry, I just read Tea Kettle's message.
Yeah, I read that too.
So I understand to some extent why people might think that, but then like if you've been to my stream for like more than one time, I think you'll quickly understand that I'm just a shy loser.
I tend to lurk in people's streams, so I have lurked in a few of yours.
Oh my god, no, this is a good memory. This is very recent. I think like 2 weeks ago or something. I had a bunch of people come in that aren't necessarily regulars, like either newer viewers or just haven't been around as much, which is totally fine, of course.
Yeah.
Come in and tell me, oh, Kori, you're so cool. How do I be more like you? And I'm like, you can really tell when people haven't been around.
Tell us, Kori, how do we be cool like you?
Make fun of yourself. Don't take things too seriously when you can help it. And kill the part of you that cringes, not the part of you that is cringe.
I'm cringe, but I am free.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that all the time. Kori is 2 times the height of Tenshi. Are you 2 times my height?
I am 173 centimeters without the heels and ears.
Hang on, I have to convert that into
That's
freedom
5'8".
units. Oh, that's really tall. Yeah. Are you also really tall IRL? You don't have to answer that if you're not comfortable.
I am 5'8" IRL.
Wow, you're really tall.
Oh my god. This is the first person I've heard say these words to me. I would consider myself to be like on probably the taller end of like the higher end of average women's height, right? But I'm just as tall or taller than my male friends. So I feel tall, and I don't tend to wear heels or whatever in public because of that. But then I would talk to other people, and they were like, "Oh, you're so short," because men like saying "you're so short" to girls for some fucking reason.
I think men are intimidated by women who are like more than 5'4".
Maybe. Do you think calling them short is just like a coping mechanism?
Yeah, it's definitely a cope. Like, oh, she can't be taller than me. How am I supposed to put my elbow on her shoulder?
Oh god. Stay the hell away from me.
As a short person, I'm always the armrest. Or though.
Yeah, I mean, not that I know what that's like, but.
Yeah, or like I'll have people pick me up, like just like.
Oh my god!
randomly.
I think I would kill a man if he just picked me up for no reason.
No, my friends will. It's actually a joke with my friends that they'll like pick me up and try to throw me. I actually had a guy bench press me once when I was at a convention.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? I'm about to throw a fit on your behalf. What the hell?
It was consensual. They were like, "Can I try to bench press you?" I was like, "Sure."
Oh, okay.
Kori, what did our original PNG look like? Mr. Soffit would like to know.
Oh man, I don't even know if I have it anymore. Like I said, one of my friends drew it for me. And they weren't actually that experienced with like an anime or cartoonish art style. Oh, I think I'm gonna have a really hard time finding it, to be honest.
Oh, your chat saying just use a Kori emote.
Oh, but that's the old design, not the old PNG though. But yeah, I used to have like a more fluffy ruffles, bows, eye patch. I had some like yarn themed accessories because back then I was more into yarn. Okay. Back then I was really into yarn work when I first started, and now I'm getting back into it. But I wanted to remove that aspect of my design because I didn't really identify with it as much anymore, which is ironic given that this year I started doing it again. But I guess I just wanted things to be more separate, right?
Yeah.
And then I ended up going down this design route instead. But yeah, no, the old design. I mean, I could probably find like a PNG of the old design. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to find the old design. Old design,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see. If you don't mind me looking through my folders for a second.
No, of course. My first reaction hearing about Kori's old model when I watched her for the first time was Gwen from League of Legends Clueless.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, I suppose, because Gwen also has like the yarn theme because she's a doll. and the blue hair, and so sort of similar bow inspired ruffled fashion and stuff. So I totally get that.
Yeah. I don't know what Gwen looks like from League. I'm gonna have to Google that. Let's see.
I also had like the slight heterochromia as well, which didn't help. Now I just have a little X in the other eye to show it, but
Oh, she carries giant scissors.
yeah. Here, am I okay to just pop a PNG in the BTS collab
go
room
ahead.
thing? Okay. So this is what the old PNG looked like. Oh, not the old PNG, but the old design looked kind of like this. I don't know if you can see it.
It takes a second to load. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's so cute.
You can see how some aspects of the design made it over into this new one, like the stitches under the eyes. Look, I barely changed the color scheme as well. Like I did try to keep a lot of the old design aspects from my old design into the new one, but you know, a bit more I suppose refined, a bit more adult, I suppose, as well, like removing myself a bit from the ruffled and sort of Lolita inspired fashion, right? But I didn't want to completely discard the old design because I do think it was cute. It was, and it's still a part of me, right?
Yeah,
if you want to look at it that way,
it's
but
Kori history.
it wasn't quite me. Yeah, exactly.
You can also find the second oldest design from the oldest clip in the clip channel.
Oh my god, I don't think I want to go back that far. The audio quality is gonna be garbage. I'm gonna cringe. I think I still have some of the old PNGs, but you know, we don't need to get that far into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do still appreciate, you know, where I started, because a lot of the time people will like completely rebrand, and I know I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to keep some of the identity of the old design, but you know.
Oh, you know, sometimes change is good, but the last model that you just showed was also really, really cute.
Yeah. Was that about kill the part of you that cringes? Okay, true, but also my ears will fall off from the terrible audio. So cut me some slack.
The crunchy Xbox mic.
It was so bad. I had so many filters on it to try and filter out like background noise and stuff, and that just ended up making everything really bad.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I really invested in was a new audio setup. Even before like any assets or models or whatever, I was like, I need to fix my audio.
That audio is a rite of passage for content creators. It's so true. The first microphone I used was like a $20 Amazon microphone, and I just bought that for like Discord calls, and then I tried using it for streaming, and I was listening back to my audio in the VOD. I was like, this is awful. It was like peaking at random times, and it was so crunchy sometimes. It's like, oh, why didn't anyone tell me?
It was probably just fine for Discord calls, you know?
Yeah, for Discord calls it was fine. Call of Duty lobby arc. It's a rite of passage for streamers. If you could give new VTubers one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh my god. Start as low budget as possible.
Yes.
Of course, if you have the expendable money, it's your money, whatever. If you absolutely want something custom, do whatever you want. But I would highly advise, again, starting with $1,000 into a model, getting a million overlays, a million emotes, industry standard microphone, etc., etc. Like, you don't need any of that. And there's a lot of like great either free or pay to use models you can use if you just want to start out. If you want something custom, PNG Tuber Plus looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And even has some physics. Definitely don't start out thinking buying a $1,000 model is gonna earn you success.
No, Corgi,
because it's not.
Corgi, do not drop 10k on a model.
And try and have fun. See it as a hobby going in, definitely. If you can turn it into a job down the line, then that's wonderful. But I think a lot of people see it as an investment and hope to turn it into a job. And I started like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it actually did become my job and I started being financially dependent on it, I quickly realized how fast it sort of zapped the joy of it out of me.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely be careful and see it as a hobby. Have fun. Watch your VODs back, like you said earlier,
Yes.
to make sure things are good. I would also recommend archiving your VODs just for the sake of memory. I mean, you don't need to publish them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Just have them. Just have them for the sake of having them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think those are sort of the biggest points of advice I would give.
Learn to stream first before learning how to be a VTuber. That is so. Yes. Like just.
So I have if you're willing to let me speak about this, I have a bit of hidden lore.
Yeah, of course.
Quote unquote. I first started streaming on Mixer forever ago, before the website shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not a VTuber. I was what we now refer to as a flesh tuber. And I got to test the waters for a few months, and it was a very, very great learning experience for me. And I'm very grateful that I did that, because that made me realize that I wanted to, stream and try VTubing and stuff when I eventually made the switch to Twitch. And yeah. Learn how to float or something like that.
Don't jump into the deep end head first.
Yeah, exactly.
So many cases that VTubers spend thousands on a model and give up after 6 months. It's so true, and I've seen it. Like, there are some VTubers that I became sort of friendly with through Twitter before I even debuted, and they would stream and unfortunately like have 1 or 2 people in the audience, and you could tell they had really expensive models, and they dropped a ton on assets and like toggles, and then they gave up because they thought they would be an instant success, and it didn't happen.
I mean, you see the word oversaturation flow around a lot on like the business side of things, and yeah, that's true, but whatever, no one wants to hear that. Yeah, being a VTuber is not enough to guarantee your success anymore. You're gonna have to find your own way of standing out, and you're not gonna do it just streaming yourself playing Apex or Valorant or whatever, you know? So
oversaturation isn't real, you just need to find a niche.
Yeah, exactly.
I think as far as streaming goes, like you could find someone streaming pretty much anything at all hours. So you just gotta find what works for you. Like,
yeah, and what's fun for you as well, yeah.
Yeah, and make yourself stand out in some way. Like, even if you are an Apex streamer, do something to make yourself a different Apex streamer. Like, maybe you have a really cool redeem that lets people, you know, pick your character or changes your hair color, you know?
Redeems are great for VTubers.
They are, yeah.
I have a lot of interaction like that for my stream and model, so
yeah, I have some, like, chat can change my model or add a hat or like glasses or something. I'd add don't rush to spend even after starting budget. Yeah, I think having a budget and trying to stick to it, like what I do now, I have a spreadsheet of how much I make each month on Twitch and like dedicated ways that I could use that to put it back into streams.
You're way more organized than me. I do keep track of like my income due to like taxes and stuff, like you have to. But, you know, I wouldn't really call myself an impulsive spender, but I'm also, I feel like I could be better. Like sometimes I just see an emote I really want. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, I know. I do that too.
Yeah.
Like
and then I'm like, oh, I really want this controller, and then I just refuse to buy it for like 3 months.
Oh, I'm literally the exact same way.
I know. It goes both ways. Like if it's something I need, it can wait. If it's something I want, it has to be done now.
No, literally the exact same way. Oh, a scab? It's only like $10 for this scab.
A literal treat.
I could do that right now, but like oh, I need a new shirt because my last one is literally falling apart, but it's $20. Nope.
A shirt is not a literal treat, therefore I will not buy it.
Exactly. It doesn't bring me serotonin right now. Controller mentioned this week. Have you still not bought the controller?
No. Okay. But this new controller I only really brought up like a few days ago, so it's still in the thinking it over period.
Yeah. Were you thinking of like an Xbox controller?
No, so here's the thing. I have a perfectly fine controller. I have multiple perfectly fine controllers, but I want a new one that I can specifically use for N64 games because I love playing like Zelda randomizers and stuff. And it bothers me to use the joystick of the controller to take out the items that are normally bound to buttons. And it just makes it so awkward to like play the Ocarina, for example, for Ocarina of Time, that I've considered buying a modern, reimagined Nintendo 64 controller because it would be so nice to have the extra face buttons.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that lately, and I mentioned it on stream, and like my entire community is like, "Oh, just put it on Throne, we'll buy it for you." And I'm like, "No."
I have the same belt I had in primary. I'm about to finish university. I have the same socks. I've been wearing the same socks since middle school.
Oh my god.
I graduated college last May. I'm still wearing those socks.
Here's what the controller roughly looks like, so you know what I'm talking about. I DM'd it to you.
Oh, it almost looks like the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I mean it's like a more modern version of the N64 controller. It just has like the 4 extra face buttons.
Because the N64 controller I know has like the weird thing in the middle.
Yeah, it's made for people with 3 hands.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Nintendo was really like, this is the future. We're gonna have 3 hands in the future.
Yeah. So I was thinking about buying this, but like I'm still in the complaining but not doing anything about it phase right now, so
it's too real. Xbox. Who was your biggest inspiration to start VTubing?
Oof. To start VTubing? Like when I actually first started? Oh man. I mean, I think I started at the... When did Hololive EN Gen 1 debut? Was it like late 2020?
I think so. I know it's been about 3 years.
They inspired me. I would say some Niji Sanji members inspired me mainly, like Kuzuha and Kanae. I love their dynamic. And then I remember I saw a VTuber when I was first doing research about it all on Twitch. I basically just searched the VTuber tag, right? Because I wanted to see other VTubers that are maybe smaller, see what they're doing. And I saw someone using a PNG and I was like, this is actually a really good way for me to start. So I started as a PNG tuber because of them. Because I don't think if I had seen that that's what they're doing, I would have done it, really. I mean, I was familiar with the fact that that was a thing because my friends had been using something like that for Discord. Man, back then it was like, it wasn't like Fugi, but it was like an actual code you had to put in OBS for it to show. And my friends were using that for like D&D recordings and whatnot. And I was like, oh man, I could use that for, you know, if I wanted to start VTubing and stuff. So I put 2 and 2 together and I started. But I wouldn't really say there was like an individual that really made me want to start VTubing. I just thought, hey, this looks like something I want to do. I enjoyed streaming, but I didn't enjoy, you know, webcamming that much.
Yeah.
So...
Sorry, I was just reading chat. But yeah, I totally get it because when I thought about streaming, I was like, should I do face streaming? And then I watched Gura. I watched her debut, and I wanted to be a VTuber then, so I looked into like the budget-friendly way, and I found 3D models, and because my 3D model didn't come out the exact same way I pictured it in my head, I just gave up.
Oh man.
And then like,
Oh, I remember I watched Eye Candy's videos a lot when I first started as well. Eye Candy. I don't actually know how you say her name.
yeah, I don't know if I watched Eye Candy, but I was watching like YouTube tutorials on how to make your free 3D model, and I was trying them out, and I was like, no. This does not look how I want it to. The hair is all weird. I started over. I think I spent a full month just trying like every day for a couple of hours to make it while I was also doing school full time. So finally I was like, I'm not going to do this. This isn't the right time. And then I was talking to Mr. Soffit, and Mr. Soffit said, "Do you know Bat at video games?" I was like, "No." And that's how I became a VTuber.
Yeah, and then once you start, you know, you were inspired by other people. I will say, Moriko inspired me a lot to, you know, to improve my stream, and I sort of used her a lot to practice art as well, digital art starting last year, I think, like in fall last year as well, and yeah, she's good.
She is, and
I like her.
her streams are so fun and like chaotic, but also a great place to just like watch.
Yeah, it's just, you know, she makes you laugh. She's a good entertainer.
Yeah,
It's good inspiration.
that put out a very helpful video for how to stream. Yeah, she did. So he sent me that, and he kind of encouraged me to just like go for it to be a VTuber. So eventually I started. I had no idea how to find a VTuber mama. I was like, I'm gonna check Fiverr. So I use Fiverr for my VTuber mama.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works, you know?
I found like 3 different artists. I showed them all to Mr. Safa, and he was like, that one. I was like, okay.
Well, I like your model a lot. It's really cute.
Thank you. Yeah, my mama did a great job. I like to say I have a face that's not meant for thinking. Just no thoughts. I sparkle.
I love the heart-shaped halo as well. It's really cute.
Thank you. That was my idea. I gave my mama basically a collage of pictures. It was like, this is what inspires me. It was like Lolita dresses. My one or 2 requests was that the hair would be pink and the eyes would be purple. That was it. I'm the only pink. True. What made you decide to be a raccoon as a crime boss?
I just thought it fits. You know, raccoons break into dumpsters. They're mischievous. They have the little bandit mask. Originally, so you know how some streamers have like cat ears as like a redeem, or something like that. It was originally just going to be that, right? It was just going to be like a redeem. I could toggle, and you know, people could turn it on, and occasionally I'd be a raccoon. But I ended up, because I love raccoons. Raccoons have like been one of my favorite animals since forever. I ended up just so falling in love with the concept that my artist made for me that I was like, man, I don't know. I'm gonna commission some more art off of Skip. I'm gonna see how I like it. And the raccoon art always came out to be my favorite, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna commit to this raccoon thing.
Commit raccoon.
I do have the model rig that I can turn
take
it
it off.
Yeah, because, you know, it was just supposed to be like an extra little gimmick rather than the full design. But now it's like actual. I feel like naked without it now.
You turned into regular human girl.
Yeah, well, you know, I still have the pale skin and everything, but it feels like something is missing without
On Raccoon's
it. You know,
your VTuber. So. Kori
It's not quite the
dumpster
same.
diver.
One of my friends, my best friend, I went to him with this idea, and he was like, I don't know if you should go for it. You'd just be another animal girl on the internet. And I'm very so upset to hear it. I was like, I'm just gonna get this concept done and see, okay? Leave me alone.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with animal girls.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, he was just concerned about me standing out and stuff. But I ended up getting the concept done, and I showed it to him, and he was like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Reject humanity, progress to raccoon.
I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen Gravity Falls? Because that reminded me instantly of the Stan I'm Wrong song.
I've seen a little bit of it, but not a whole lot.
Oh, there's this one part where Stan was wrong, so Mabel says, "Do the song," and he goes, "I'm Stan and I am wrong. I'm singing the Stan wrong song."
You know, I was just going to get the concept done because I couldn't get it out of my head. You know, I had this idea, I really wanted it, and if I didn't end up liking the concept, then at least I can live with the fact that I tried and it wasn't for me. But I went to Pride, who was at the time the artist, and she still works for her, of one of my good friends, who now goes by Hiyori's Inn.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, I have this design. Do you think your friend Pride would be able to do this for me?" And she was like, "Yes, 100%. I'll refer you to her right now." And then the concept that Pride sent me back was like perfect immediately. Like, it's something about like what I just conveyed to her must have done it perfectly. And she sent me back the sketch. And I was like, "This is exactly what I wanted." So yeah,
artists are just too good. Sometimes they just
there
know.
there were a few aspects I had changed. Like she took it into a more magical girl style at first, where like the ears and the tail would like glow with like fire, and that was really what I was going for. Yeah, but it definitely was interesting, and we kept like the sparkling in the tail and the ears for like the more ghostly thing. And you'll also notice that the end of my tail is slightly transparent to keep the ghost theme. And yeah, but like the base design of like the outfit and the mask and the ears and the tail, it was all just like great from the beginning. It was fantastic.
What made you decide on a suit as your main outfit?
I like suits.
Honestly, women in suits, chef kiss, so good.
I like suits. A big inspiration behind this design was Payday 2 and Persona 5. I love the fashion in those games.
Yeah.
Especially Payday. And yeah, that was sort of the leading inspiration behind going with the suit. I also just like suits, and I love corsets as well. I know you can't really see it because I have my legs crossed.
Oh, you're wearing a corset too.
Yeah, I love corsets. They were like a common design element in all my in most of my D&D or tabletop RPG characters as well. So I don't know, I just saw like an outfit on like Pinterest one day, and I was like, man, this is exactly like the type of style I like.
Yeah.
So
it suits you. It looks really good. Like I could not imagine you any other way.
No, I mean I've thought about, you know, getting alt outfits done. Maybe like a fantasy one that's like more roguish, right?
Is that what you usually play in D&D, a rogue?
I do like martial classes more than casters. I wouldn't really. I think I like the idea of a ranger more than a rogue. But I don't know. I guess. I mean, again, I like martial classes, so like barbarians and fighters and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about, because I just like fantasy stuff as well. But getting extra outfits for like 2D models is like not a small expense to make. So I haven't really put too much more thought into it, but you know.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like to see what artists would come up with for me, which is always fun for like different outfits. What versions of D&D have you played?
I have played 5e, and I've played, well, I know it's not D&D, but I'm gonna count it as D&D. I've played Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I like Pathfinder 2nd edition better than D&D 5th edition. Other tabletop RPGs I've played are I've tried Call of Cthulhu. I don't think I've played any others. I think I've played Call of Cthulhu, D&D 5e, and Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Nice, that's a lot of them.
I've been meaning to try Vampire the Masquerade, but I haven't yet.
I've heard that one's really good. Because my brother's also very into tabletop RPGs, and he has a group with like his wife and some other people, and they played Vampire the Masquerade, and they said it's probably one of their new favorites.
Yeah, I want to try it because apparently it's like more RP focused. And I mean, like I said, my group really likes RPing, so
yeah, I really, that's the aspect of it that really draws me, because I love writing. So I would love to be able to like write with characters like that.
I mean, you could try DMing, right? If you like writing and world building, that
Yeah,
could suit you.
I definitely could try. I've been in the same D&D group for 15 years. Wow.
That's
That's kind of
awesome.
impressive. So how do you stay motivated on days that like you don't want to stream or you don't really feel like being live?
Oh God. Everyone has off days, right? I don't know. Like a lot of sometimes I still have to cancel streams because I sometimes have just a terrible day, and I think that's fine, of course. But I think on the hardest days, I usually know I will feel better and more energized once I hit go live and I see everyone come in. And trying to keep that in mind as a motivator, that you have a community that is excited to see you and excited to chat with you and stuff
Yeah.
really helps. Playing games that I'm excited to play is also good. Like I try to schedule in a game at least once a week where that I'm very excited to play, because I do a lot of like viewer requests for games. So maybe I'm not as excited to play those, so I make sure to schedule in a game that I'm really looking forward to as well to help me
Yeah.
get through the week. And
What
yeah,
are
do
your
good
favorite
music,
games to
good music
play?
as well. Oh, I love Zelda games. This year I've really
Mhm.
re-sparked my love for them through playing randomizers of them.
Have you
I
done an
played
MMR yet?
no, I'm actually playing through Majora's Mask vanilla right now. Well, Majora's Mask Redux with a few quality of life changes, but vanilla, right? Like I'm playing through the game with the goal of hopefully doing a randomizer of it one day, because I haven't actually played Majora's Mask nearly as much as all the other 3D Zeldas. But it's my goal to hopefully play a Majora's Mask randomizer maybe next year.
Yeah. Is Samarimi one of your chatters? I just want to make sure before. Oh, never mind. JC did it. Thank you, JC.
I don't know. I couldn't read the name. I don't think so. No.
I just want to make sure they weren't like so someone from your chat trolling or something.
No. My chat is usually fairly well behaved.
Gotta keep them in line.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like being like a boss helps. Like when your chat
Yeah.
calls you boss all the time. So
Account created today. Oh, definitely, just a troll. Just a regular troll.
But yeah, I feel like sometimes it's hard to keep yourself motivated. I've hit a lot of roadblocks, or not really roadblocks, but a lot of like bad times this year because, as I briefly touched on earlier, I was financially dependent solely on streaming for a little while because my financial situation was a little bad. It's much better now, so it's not like terrible.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for me some days to keep going knowing that I had to, right? Because like, again, I financially dependent on it.
Yeah.
So having this freedom now to be able to step back and rebuild a more relaxed and for fun relationship with streaming has really motivated me to keep going and play games that I want to play and relax a bit more and just have fun with it,
Yeah. I think that's great to like relearn to love it. And I definitely feel the same way, and what you said resonated with me, that sometimes you're having an off day and you don't want to stream, and then once you get onto the stream it's like, oh, everyone came to talk and that's so nice and I feel so much better.
I mean, if you don't mind me getting a little more personal, I had a pretty bad day on Friday, just a few days ago, and I didn't want to stream, but I knew that I would feel awful completely canceling. So instead of outright not doing anything with the rest of my night, I just decided, hey, I'm not feeling up to streaming. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. Let's just go watch a movie on Discord. And that was a really nice compromise as well. So
Yeah.
I would recommend if you're having maybe some doubts or feeling unmotivated, at least to see if you can connect with your chat some other time, because I wouldn't really say people go out of their way to make time for your streams, but they still, have the routine around you and at least somewhat expect you to be there.
Yeah.
So I think doing like a movie night or spending time with people goes a long way. So
I think so too. Movie nights are great. Yeah, they're so much fun just to like watch a movie with people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely different than like putting on a movie by yourself and just sitting there watching and like getting to chat with people and seeing their reaction, especially if it's their first time. Like I put on Mulan the other night because some people hadn't seen it. I was like, how have you not seen Mulan? I do. I make my Discord watch Disney movies.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we've seen a few Disney movies as well. We watched Ocean's 11 last Friday because it's somewhat on brand with the whole organized crime thing. Yeah. It was super fun.
I love that movie. It's so good. I do love the Disney. I was gonna make them watch Frozen. Oh, so at my top right now, it sounds lame, but it's Frozen. I love that movie.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
Grand Latard, thank you so much for raiding.
Yo, Raiders, welcome in.
Welcome. My name's Tenshi, this is my guest Kori, and today we're doing a 10 Talks. Sorry, what were you about to ask?
Are you a big fan of the princess movies then, if you like Frozen?
Yeah.
I think my favorite Disney princess movie is probably Princess and the Frog.
I
really
love that
like
one.
it.
It's so cute.
Yeah, I just love how Tiana sort of, you know, started with nothing and built herself up, and I think that's really inspiring rather than starting out as a princess or whatever.
Getting handed everything.
It's very down to earth, very grounded. I really like that about the movie.
Keith David singing in that movie goes hard. It does. Yeah, the music in there goes hard.
It's so good.
It's really good. What's your favorite song in the movie?
I don't know. That is such a hard question to answer. Hold on, let me pull up the track list.
Yeah, it's always so hard to pick like especially in a song where all the scores are really good. It's so hard to pick just one. But I always have this thing where like one song always feels like it doesn't actually belong in the movie. In Disney movies it's rarely like that, but in like Broadway's, there's always one song.
I think my favorites are probably Almost There and Friends on the Other Side.
I love Friends on the Other Side.
Yeah, I mean, Down in New Orleans is also very, very good.
Yeah.
Just a great movie overall.
I love that it's very remiss of the old jazzy Disney soundtracks, like Aristocats. It's so good. Have you seen Aristocats?
I don't think I have.
Oh, that's a really great one.
I'm such a musical nerd, but there's like a lot of classic musicals I've never seen.
I'm also very much a musical nerd. I love Broadway.
Me too. What's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. So right now, favorite soundtrack is Beetlejuice, but favorite of all time is Les Mis.
I haven't seen Les Mis, see?
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
I respect the Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. The new Beetlejuice musical was so good.
Yes,
like
the music
genuinely, it was
slaps.
amazing.
What's your favorite?
My favorite. Okay, listen. Promise me you won't judge.
Of course not.
My favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera.
I love Phantom of the Opera. Oh my gosh, such good music.
I love how dramatic it is. I love the Phantom. My favorite version is the I haven't seen the movie version in forever because I don't like it. But I love the 25th anniversary version at Royal Albert Hall that they did. Dude, oh my gosh, I could watch nothing but that for the rest of my life.
Literally, if I could only listen to one soundtrack forever, it would be that one.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's just such a good musical.
It's so
Every time I watch it, I notice something new the actors did on stage. It's incredible. Yes, I did get art of myself based on the movie, but I wasn't gonna nerd out that hard.
That's awesome.
Not on the movie, on the musical. But yeah.
I love that.
I also really like Heathers. Heathers is good. Yeah. Wicked. Wicked. Wicked is probably my number 2 favorite after Phantom of the Opera.
Wicked is definitely like top tier for me. I saw it when I was a kid with my mom because one year she's like, if you get really good grades, I'll take you to see Wicked. And me,
Oh my god.
and then my best friend's mom was like, you know what, if you also get really good grades, we'll all go together. So I got really good grades, and then me and my sister and my best friend and her mom all went to see it. And it was so good. Even though we were in like the literal nosebleeds, because that's all we could afford, it was still like, I was shaking the entire time.
That's amazing. It's one of my big like bucket list / goals in life to one day see a Broadway show.
Oh.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it'll be Wicked one day, because
Yes.
if I were to go see Phantom of the Opera, there's no way I would like it as much as the recorded version.
I think live is always a little bit different. Prince of Egypt is very good.
Oh yeah, Prince of Egypt is also amazing.
Like I've gotten to see a few more through like these. I don't want to like sympathy bait, but basically I'm chronically ill, so I've gone through a few organizations that donate tickets to sick kids. So I got to see Wicked again when I was 18, and that time I got to do a backstage tour and meet like the actresses. I wore Glinda's crown. I have like a picture of me in Glinda's crown. It was incredible. And I also got to see Hamilton.
Oh, I loved Hamilton back when it was big, like when it first like started exploding. I loved it. I remember definitely not seeing a bootlegged version that was recorded, but not recorded in one of the stalls.
Looking up slime tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah, Hamilton slime tutorial. Because I wanted to see it so bad.
Yeah.
And then eventually they did the pro shot, which was absolutely incredible.
Sorry, just ignore the beeping noise.
No, it's all good. Yeah, Hamilton slime tutorial. Oh, that brought me back. That's so good. Yeah. No, I'm jealous. Man, I wish I could have seen the original Hamilton cast live, but you know, it's not in the cards for me being in Europe and all that.
They do have the, I don't know if you have Disney Plus, but they do have a recording of it with the original cast.
The pro shot, yeah. I did watch it as soon as it came out. It was incredible. Yeah, it's so good.
It's really
I'm so glad they did it. I wish every musical got that treatment, honestly.
I know they're talking about doing it with Wicked. There's also a lot of talk on a Wicked movie, but they've been talking for years about it, so I don't know if it's actually gonna happen.
I don't know how much hope I have for the Wicked movie. I mean, like, I want it to be good, but
do too.
You know.
I heard they're casting, if it does happen, someone said they're gonna cast Ariana Grande as Glinda, and I was like, oh, it's not Kristen Chenoweth.
No matter what they do, it's not gonna be the original cast.
I know, it's not gonna be Kristen and
but we'll see how it goes. I'll watch it, but I'm probably not gonna be too happy, you know, because it's not gonna be the original cast.
Honestly, it sounds weird, but I'd be happier if it was like a Disney style animated movie. I think that would come out.
I don't know, maybe.
Better.
I think it could work for Wicked, definitely. Because then you don't have to bother with like the makeup for yeah.
And then you can really do some of the scenes justice, like when Fiero gets turned into a scarecrow.
Dude, I remember listening to that for the first time. Oh, it was so good. You know, I still haven't seen Wizard of Oz to this day.
Really? It was my mom's favorite movie, so I watched it a lot growing up.
I haven't seen it because I know that, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West is like evil and she gets turned into like paste or something.
Be looking at the lens.
I was like, I can't bear to watch this after having seen Wicked.
I know, it really puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
Like now when I watch that movie, I'm like, oh, Glinda, you're the villain.
I'll have to watch it at some point. It's gonna be difficult for me.
You should definitely watch the Les Mis movie at some point too. It's so good.
I will have to. I will have to one day.
I saw it like 3 times in theater.
Do you have like a favorite movie overall? Like not necessarily musical, but in general?
I don't know. I have so many movies that I just love. and could rewatch at any time. So I don't think I could pick one, but Les Mis and Frozen are definitely up there on it. And there's like random movies that I also really like.
My favorite movie, like of all time, is probably The Princess Bride.
I love that movie. So I actually had read the book first because I was like, oh, there's a Princess Bride book. I'll read that first and then see the movie, because you know, for me, I always want to read the book before I watch a movie. And then I find out
I haven't read it. What was it like?
The book is just the movie. The book came after the movie, and it's just the movie script. So I read the whole thing, and then I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's written like that.
Wait. So did the movie come first?
Yeah, the movie came first, and then they
But
wrote
in
the book.
movie, they're reading the book.
They did not ruin the book, because the book was just the movie.
Oh, that's so funny. So the whole like bit about the grandpa reading the sick boy
That's how the book starts. And it's written in first person too. So you're reading the whole thing from like the grandpa's perspective, and he's like, I sat down on my grandson's bed, and it feels like the book feels like it's starting in the middle of a story. So I'm reading this, I'm like, is there a book one? Is this a misprint? What is that? I'm missing like half the context here.
Oh, that's so funny. I had no idea.
Yeah, so then
that's so good.
Then I finally watched the movie, I'm like, everything makes so much sense now.
No, I love Princess Bride. That's probably my favorite movie.
It's really good, yeah. Honestly, it stands the test of time too.
It's also so quotable. Oh, Mean Girls. I love Mean Girls.
Mean Girls is so good.
Mean Girls is sort of the same. You can't sit with us.
I just want to bake a cake out of rainbows and butterflies.
She doesn't even go here.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's just a classic, isn't it? Just like Princess Bride.
Like I could think about quotes from that all day. Like I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Ernst, thank you so much for the resub. Well, are you a big reader? Do you like, books?
No, not at all. Like when I was growing up, maybe, but like I do not have the time for books anymore, sadly.
Honestly, same. The last book I read was like 3 months ago.
I tried. Okay, I've told the story on my stream before, but I'm willing to tell it again. I tried getting into like listening to audiobooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big like fan of romance stuff. And as we told earlier, we were very susceptible to things that are presented to us on TikTok, right?
Yes.
So I was like, oh, people are pitching this romance novel to me. I'm just gonna listen to the audiobook of it while I do work, because I don't have time to read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I noped out so fast at the first like intimate scene.
Oh,
I was like,
was it the Ice Giants one?
No, it was a Court of Rose, Thorns and Roses, or whatever.
Roses, Akatar.
Yeah. Yes, Akatar, yes. I got to the scene, like the first like intimate scene, like the first sex scene. I was like, I'm out of here. It was like, I think it was described as he sheathed himself into me. I couldn't take it seriously anymore. I was out.
I didn't even know that was smut.
Apparently.
I thought it was just like regular romance. I had that on my reading list. I didn't realize.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, thank you for letting me know.
I don't know if it gets like more or less smutty. But I can't, like, it should have been, okay, listen, call me a prude or whatever, okay? It should have been a fade to black. We enjoyed a passionate night together. That's enough for me.
Fade to black, that's it. I don't need the details.
I don't need this sheathing business.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, that was the last time I tried to read something.
Mm.
Read quote unquote, because I listened to the audiobook, but
Yeah.
you know.
Oh my gosh, it's an audiobook. That must have been even worse.
It's like more embarrassing when you have like a female narrator to tell it back rather than you reading it. Maybe that made it worse. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have been as bad on paper, but I don't know. I just couldn't.
Yeah, like I mostly read manhwa these days.
Yeah, I have a friend who is big into manhwa and web novels and stuff, but again, I don't make time for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
lately I haven't been reading them as much because I've just been like so tired. After stream, I go right to bed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same. I end at like 11 p.m. most days. I raid out, I say hello, I say goodnight to the person I raid, and then I'm off to bed.
Same. I end like between 11:30 and midnight, and then I'm like, okay, gotta raid and run. Bye. To self-refer to them as scabbards in the future. No.
Do you mind if I go refill my water real quick?
Yeah, of course. I'm actually gonna take like a 30-second break too, because I really have to use the bathroom.
No worries, no worries.
All right, guys, we're gonna be right back after these promoted messages. All right, we are back, and I forgot what we were talking about right before.
I don't. So audiobooks, movies.
Oh yeah. Welcome back. Well, thanks for sticking around, guys, while we took a quick break. I actually have asked all of my questions. So chat, if you guys have any questions for Kori, you know, you guys can ask her anything within TOS, of course. What's her favorite snack to eat?
I don't really know. I really like sweet stuff.
I do too. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? I like hazelnut flavored things.
Oh, like Nutella?
Yeah, Nutella, like Kinder Bueno, if you've had those before.
I love those.
I really enjoy those.
I like the hippos.
Oh, yes, the hazelnut hippos.
Yeah.
Those are really nice too. Yeah, I really like those. In Germany, we had a treat called Toffifee, which is like a hazelnut nougat cream with a caramel like case outside and a little bit of chocolate on top. It was very delicious.
Wonderful. Oh, Mr. Soffit says, I ask every guest, what made you decide to do this interview?
Oh, well, what's your favorite snack before I answer that?
Probably chocolate chip cookies. It's funny because I'm not a huge chocolate fan, but if you put chocolate in something like a chocolate chip cookie, it's fine.
Oh, chocolate chip cookies are good. I also really like brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pastries in general are also very delicious. Yeah. Right. What made me decide to do this interview? Well, I need to get out of my shell more. I don't interact with other VTubers as much as I feel like I should be or as I want to be. And I've decided whenever an opportunity presents itself, I am just going to take it and we figure out the rest later. That's how I'm going to try and tackle social interaction from now on.
Honestly, I get it. Social interaction is so hard.
Yeah, I'm very shy. I have like a lot of problem reaching out to people.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try my best to be more open.
I'm also very shy, but I feel
so.
like being a VTuber helps because it's less like you're talking like face to face and more like you're talking as characters, you know?
Yeah. I mean, of course, my shyness is just a character I put on.
Zormy Daddy would like to know, when was the last time you ate a grilled cheese? I love grilled cheese.
Yesterday. I've been eating them way too frequently lately.
They're so good, so I get it.
It's just like my go-to. I'm too lazy to cook food, and I've been too lazy to cook for like half a year.
Would you rock a corset IRL? Isaac at this would like to know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't think I've ever worn a corset IRL. I mean, they look very impractical.
They are.
I doubt they'd be very comfortable, but maybe they'd look really good on me, so I don't know.
I own a few different ones because I'm a cosplayer. They're
Oh,
impractical.
really?
Yeah, but I like them a lot, actually.
I would be willing to try. I mean, a lot of the clothes I wear do have a lot of the clothes I like wearing do accentuate the waist. So I don't know. Like I said, I've never worn a corset or anything as restricting as a corset, so I'd definitely be willing to try it at the very least. Yeah,
they're a little weird at first, but once you figure out how to wear it, it's kind of nice because it straightens your back. You know, you get that nice posture. The bad thing is like trying to eat in it because your tummy can't expand, obviously.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't even consider that.
Striking Walrus would like to know, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Nutella, yeah.
I didn't even know they made Nutella ice cream.
Well, okay, if we're talking like ice cream we can buy at like a retail store, then probably Ben & Jerry's cookie dough.
Good choice. Cookie dough is also my favorite ice cream flavor.
Yeah, if we're talking something you would get at like an ice cream shop and like a cone, then Nutella.
If they didn't have Nutella, would you just ask them to put it on top? Just like a topping?
I don't know. I mean, I would probably just go for it. So the issue I have with chocolate ice cream is that a lot of the time it's too bitter for me personally. So I would just see if they have like maybe a hazelnut or something similar to that rather than going chocolate. But if there's an alternative, I'll do chocolate or maybe like a mango or some other fruit.
That's why I like ice cream. I don't know if you have them in you're in Germany, right?
I am German, but I live in the UK.
Oh, so I don't know if they have them in the UK, but in the US there are these ice cream places where you put whatever you want in it and then you pay by the weight of your cup. So I like to
I've been to one of those before, yeah.
Yeah, I like to get a little bit of ice cream and then a lot of toppings.
My local ice cream place does a lot with toppings as well, but they don't go off weight. You just get to pick like I think like 3 or 4 toppings. So.
I love that. 3 or 4 is like the perfect amount for a regular ice cream, but at those places I'm like, okay, I need the little cheesecake bites, I need the cookie dough, I need the marshmallow sauce.
I think they do 2 scoops, then 2 toppings, including sauce as well. So 2 toppings plus sauce, then a little bit of like vanilla to like top off the cup they put it in, and then 2 more toppings and sauce.
Dang.
I think that's how they do it.
That's a lot of ice cream.
Yeah. It's a special treat, you know? Well, what I would do is I would get 2 scoops of Nutella with their Kinder chocolate sauce. And then I would get crushed Oreos and hazelnuts. Then the vanilla ice cream on top. And then crushed biscuits and more hazelnut and more chocolate sauce.
Sounds like a good order.
Yeah.
What character would you consider cosplaying? Tails PR would like to know.
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, like I've thought about I think everyone has thought about cosplay before, right? But I don't know. I mean, there were like a few characters I was like, oh man, I wish I could cosplay that one day. From like a Zelda character, like Sheik or Link to I mean this could be fun for like a joke cosplay, like recreating like a casual look of a character. I don't think I would ever like personally seriously consider it because I don't think I have the I mean, I don't know. It's not like I'm not willing to learn the skill, but it's also that I am not sure if I would be able to do it justice or if I would feel confident enough to actually pull it off, right? Like it's one thing to wear it, it's another to like do it, you know? But I remember my friends were thinking about maybe doing like a group JoJo cosplay before, and I was like, man, this is so nerdy.
It's fun though.
One of my friends wanted to cosplay young Joseph Joestar, and I knit him the scarf That was the first thing I ever knit.
That's awesome.
No, I have a lot of respect for cosplay. I think it's awesome because I'm totally the type of person to go to a con and be like, oh my god, there's a character I like. Look. But again, I don't know if I would be able to do something like that. I don't think I have what it takes. Honestly, maybe even like something that could pass off as like casual clothing, like more modern, like for example the main characters from Disco Elysium, or
Yeah.
maybe just recreating a character in casual clothes. I think that could be cool.
Yeah, lots of people do casual or closet cosplays. Like the best way to start out is just to go to like a thrift store and see what you can do with it, because cosplay is expensive. And you wouldn't think it would be, but it's like, it's for a dress that you think you could probably just buy at like Target, they're charging like upwards of $60 for it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, you know, cosplayers like make their own as well, and it all looks very intimidating as well.
Yeah, I don't sew, so I always just buy mine.
Mhm.
Can you ask Kori to toggle on her braid hair? Bear would like to know.
Fine, hold on. There you go.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
Yeah, when you were talking about redeems earlier, I have a channel point redeem where people can customize my hair, and they can like combine different haircuts together.
Oh, so you could put on like the braid and the short hair together?
Well, no, but here I have different preset haircuts. So this is the default, right? And then I have like a ponytail style.
Ooh, very nice.
And then a hime cut style, like this. Oh my god, I forgot.
Oh, long hair.
Off. Yes. So what you could do is you could combine the front of the hime cut with the braid, for example.
Oh, now you look like Makima.
I do, don't I? Yeah.
With the arms crossed and the tie, yeah.
But yeah, there's a few different styles you can do with the redeem, and I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome. It's really neat.
Yeah.
I did see another question I'm just looking for. Oh, Isaac at this would like to know Nutella or Nudosi?
Nudosi. It's a off-brand Nutella you can buy in Germany. It tastes a lot more like hazelnut than it does chocolate. And it's very delicious. I do really like it. I think both have their niches, but I would actually say that I overall prefer Nudosi.
Is it less sugary too? Because Nutella is pretty sugary on its own.
Oh, I don't know. It might be, but I don't know. I don't know for certain.
I've been to the UK once, but I never saw Nudosi there. So if I go back, I'll have to look for it.
It's German. It's German.
Oh, it's only in Germany. I did go to Germany. I went to Frankfurt.
Ah, how did you like it?
There was like one thing to do.
Germans do not like Frankfurt very much, so
yeah, I could tell. Because I went to Ramstein afterwards to like get a flight out of Germany. And everyone was like, why would you go to Frankfurt?
Yeah.
We took a bus from Amsterdam to Frankfurt because that was like the only way to get to Germany for cheap.
Yeah, the buses are pretty cheap, honestly.
Yeah, we used like the Go bus. It's like a big green bus. And then they yelled at me because apparently you needed to tell them in advance if you were bringing a wheelchair. So this German man is like screaming at me for bringing a wheelchair. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm an inconvenience.
Germans are so impolite. You know that? Okay, not impolite, but like...
They're very brash, I would say.
Yeah. I went to Germany to visit my family a few months ago, over the summer. I hadn't seen them in quite a few years at this point, so I thought a visit was due. And oh man, it was night and day going there. I went to go get groceries with my mom, and I would get like really mean glances everywhere because like I would just like wander about the store looking at all the German foods I don't have at home, and maybe sometimes I would get like slightly in the way of someone. And I fly back home 2 weeks later, And everyone is so nice. The bus driver is making sure everyone's on the right bus. Everyone's smiling, looking after each other. I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not in Germany.
Yeah, we were just like walking around at night because I'm vegetarian, and we found like a vegetarian Indian place in Frankfurt.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were leaving, these people were just like glaring at us for walking past them. I was like, what did I do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's with Germans and being like that. And then you talk to them and they go like, hello. they talk like that, but they look so mean.
They look so intimidating.
I don't know.
Because I had just come from Amsterdam. One of my mom's friends lives there, and she was the one who was like taking us around and showing us everything. And she was like, you have to be careful because Dutch people will tell it like it is. So if you look bad in something, we're going to tell you. I was like, I think the same thing applies to Germany.
I don't know. I think Germans just internalize everything. But man, I'm sorry you had such a bad experience with the bus driver. That's terrible.
Sorry, my mom came over to tell me something.
No worries.
Dutch mentioned, yeah, Dutch. But not Dutch Bros. The best coffee place.
I think Germans just have resting angry face. Yes, I have a very bad case of resting bitch face myself. Maybe it's just, part of being German.
It could be. Because in America, like we smile at strangers when we're walking by. Like if you make eye contact with someone, it's like, oh, smile so they don't think you hate them.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something I learned after moving to the UK as well, that a mean German glare is not normal.
Yeah, Dutch Bros is so good. I'm so glad other people know it. It's a coffee chain in America, and they not only make coffee, but they also make like sodas. So you can get homemade soda there.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
It's really good. My favorite is the mango one. It's like soda water, and then they put mango syrup and whipped cream on top. It's so good.
Oh, mango in general is just such a good flavor.
Yeah, I love mango. Germans do not smile at strangers. You would be labeled as weird and insane. I didn't smile at any strangers in Germany because they were looking at me funny, so I mostly just hid behind my dad. Like, please don't attack me. we went to like the old town in Frankfurt and like one bakery, and then we caught the next train out.
Yeah, it was so weird going back to Germany because my mother would get so mad, like full on like road rage, and people are like, "Mother, it's not that serious." I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've lived in a different country for so long now, and people are just so friendly in my area.
Yeah.
That it's so weird going back to Germany and everyone being so stern all the time.
It's definitely different when that's why I love going to new places, because you kind of get like a fresh perspective on how everyone else lives. Like for my sister's Make-A-Wish trip, we went to South Africa, and it was so different, but it was also really, really nice because I'm not gonna say like people there are simple, because that sounds weird, but like they have a very I don't know if naturistic is a word, but like a very naturistic philosophy. And I thought that was really cool. Especially going on safari. But like the one bad thing was when we were on safari, there was... Sorry, my sister came over and shoved a cookie in my face.
That's so sweet.
The cons of living with your family and trying to stream. But like there was a spider in the bathroom, and you also it was an outdoor shower, so like my dad was trying to take a shower, and then they told us that if you ever see any spiders in your room, call us and we'll come get rid of it. And he was like, the guy was like, oh, don't worry, it's just a spider. And then he looks at the spider and he goes, oh, you might want to leave. I'll never
I would be on
forget
the
that.
first plane back home after that.
Yeah, thankfully it happened to my dad and not the rest of us. And also they have to like inspect your room for snakes and stuff, and they have to escort you back to your room at night, like from dinner, because of the lions.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, people really are living out here with like lions.
That's crazy.
It was pretty
But
crazy.
for the same reason, I would never want to go to Australia. I mean, maybe, but like the idea of going to Australia just sounds terrifying. Like, what do you mean I could walk outside? There'd be an 8-foot tall rabbit man.
Yeah, and it
Not
boxes.
rabid, but rabbit.
It's like weird kangaroo thing, and it can punch.
Yeah.
It can like knock you out.
It could just like scratch you and all your intestines come out. Hell
Yeah.
no. And you just live like that?
Like in America, you have to look both ways because you could hit a deer while driving. In Australia, you could hit a full-on kangaroo and it can fight back.
Yeah. You could just be taking your dog out for a walk and get jumped.
I know, and not even
What
against
the
the
hell?
human. The kangaroo's gonna rob you.
Nah, I would hate that. I would hate that.
I know, and just like their snakes and spiders alone freak me out.
The idea even of America having alligators is crazy to me.
Oh, they're not. You don't see them really. I went to university in Florida, and you only really saw them like you just know don't go near the lakes because that's kind of where they live, but they don't bother you.
Mm.
They're not looking for trouble. They're actually pretty scared of humans, from what I know. And then sometimes you see them in the road getting like hit by cars.
That's still crazy to me.
It's weird just seeing like an alligator on the side of the road.
In general, I feel like America has all the cool animals. Like you have raccoons and possums and everything. They're really cute.
Raccoons are adorable. I love possums too. They're so like scrungly.
I love them so much. I love how they are like a little bus for their children.
Yeah. In America, you have to look both ways so you don't get hit by a car. In Australia, you have to look every way so you don't get hit by a kangaroo and knocked unconscious. So true. Love Kori saying cool animals and the name's two pests. Unreal. They're not pests, they're adorable. We also have a big feral cat colony. And they're always running
yeah, I've
around
heard
the
of
yard.
that. I've heard of that.
Yeah, they're cool though. I like them. I remember everyone blowing up over a clip of a man punching a kangaroo to save his dog. Absolutely.
I remember that. I remember that. I think I would punch a kangaroo too.
If it was to save my dog, absolutely. Like I would fight anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of love as a human, right? Like we also have like certain stops from making us do certain physical tasks because they would destroy us. But if something we love is in danger, then those switches get turned off.
Yeah, I've heard of, I haven't seen it. Apparently there's a clip on the internet of like a woman lifting a car to save her baby. That's kind of incredible.
It's crazy that we're actually able to do that, but our brains just tell us not to.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It really is. Kieran when Kori is in danger. So, he would punch a kangaroo just because. Let me tell you a hilarious story, actually. We went to a petting zoo, and a lot of these petting zoos, you can have the opportunity to, like, feed a kangaroo. You buy, like, an ice cream cone, and you could feed the kangaroo. So we did that, but my sister had just seen the movie, like, Kangaroo Joe or something, with the boxing kangaroos. So she walks up to the first kangaroo she sees, and she socks it in the face.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. If I was the parent, I would just like let nature take its course there.
The staff were laughing hysterically. She also met a chicken once at a baby and named it Schnitzel. Our bodies would hurt themselves more often if we didn't have those limits. Yeah, we are capable of destroying ourselves in more than one way. Giga Chad, I don't remember what happened after. I know we weren't kicked out of the zoo just because everyone thought it was really funny that this 3-year-old walked up and socked a kangaroo.
My god, children are so dumb. Like seriously.
They're so
I
dumb.
know they can't help it. They're just trying to learn how to be a person, but my god, they're so stupid.
They are, but it lets them do all the funny things, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Naming right up there with crispy bacon. Imagine naming your pig crispy bacon.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it's a strong name, I think. So is blue your favorite color? Because, you know, you have a lot of it.
No. No, it's not. You would think it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite color, like, I know I'm gonna get a lot of like flack for saying this, but my favorite color is black, probably, and then like
Oh.
a very dark purple.
I love purple.
I don't know. I settled on the blue thing because I do like the color. Like, it's not like I hate it. It's just not my favorite.
It's a good combo.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice.
Question for Kori: what weapons did/do you play in Monster Hunter?
Before that, is your favorite color pink?
No, it's purple.
Oh. Purple is just a good color.
It is, even in real life, people, because I wear a lot of pink, people are like, oh, pink must be your favorite color. I'm like, no, it's purple. They're like, oh.
My favorite weapon. So I played maybe like, I don't know how many hours. I didn't play that much Monster Hunter. I always try to get back into it and then eventually fail. But I have played maybe like, hold on, I'm checking my Steam right now. Maybe like 30 to 40 hours maybe of Monster Hunter total in my life. Across World and Rise. And I played Hunting Horn.
Oh, the horn. Love that.
I play Hunting Horn. I should try more weapons though, but I did enjoy Hunting Horn.
I like the great sword.
I do love the aesthetic of just one huge weapon.
Yeah.
Like a big sword, a big hammer, a big club, stuff like that.
It's great. It's great. I love one of my favorite looks is like small person, big weapon.
Yeah. Oh, it's also why I enjoy playing martial characters a lot in tabletop RPGs, because while everyone else is like relying on magic, and magic is cool, like don't get me wrong, but while everyone else is relying on magic and otherworldly power, you're just some person with a weapon, and you somehow keep up with everyone else.
Big weapon.
And I think the power fantasy of that is really cool. I really like it.
I love that because like everyone's like, you know, arcane and you're like practical.
Yeah. That being said, I do enjoy playing casters as well occasionally, but nothing is quite like just being a person with a sword.
Yeah. Boop the big monster on the head and win. So true. Hello, Corvus. Hunting horns are extremely useful, also very funny to play as, just the equivalent of smashing someone's head in with a cello or something. That would be really funny if you carried around like a big cello and then, you know, bonked people with it.
I mean, in general, I also like support classes, so the hunting horn sort of fit that niche. So
yeah. I didn't realize hunting
horn
was
oh yeah, you
support.
already said you like
great sword.
Great sword.
I like the big bonk sword. I was trying out a bunch of weapons. Like I tried archer because I do archery IRL, but then
wow.
I didn't like the aiming system on it because archery in games, the aiming system always sucks. So I was like, I hate this, and I switched to katana. And I was like, oh, I have to sharpen this every 3 hits. So eventually I landed on greatsword because I'm like, big weapon, make brain go brr.
Archery IRL. How did you get started with that?
I've been doing it since I was really young. I used to compete like nationally. And then I kind of just quit and became an instructor.
Well, that's awesome though.
It was really fun, and sometimes I miss it because I don't really do it anymore except like once a year when I can take my Girl Scouts there. I took them like last month, and oh my gosh, children with weapons is not a good idea. ice in Monhun?
I played like a handful of sports growing up too. Like I played soccer, tabletop tennis. I did some swimming for a little bit, but nothing really stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tried swimming too. I was on swim team for my camp, but I really just did it for the free ice cream at the end. They were like, swim 10 laps and then you get a vanilla ice cream. I was like, heck yeah, ice cream! Children will really do anything for like a free snack.
Yeah.
I also joined the tennis team briefly, only for the nationals, because they were missing one person for the team. So I was like, oh yeah, I can fill that in for you. I had no idea how to play tennis. I had the rules explained to me while we were playing the tournament. So I would be like, yeah, I hit it. And she'd be like, no, that's out. That's a negative point. I was like, what? You just made that up. I spent basically the entire tournament arguing over rules I had no idea about.
Did you get very far?
No. I think it ended on like 17 love or something.
I'm assuming that's not very good.
No. Love is 0.
Oh.
I don't know why they call it love, but like that's what the girl told me. I was like, you made that up. You are not at 17. And she was like, I got 17 hits on you. And the entire time I literally just spent arguing with her and occasionally playing tennis. I think I'm like the only person who made it to a tennis national without knowing how to play.
Well, that's an achievement, right?
Yeah. Well, the entire time I was like, this is so easy. I can just hit the ball with this like stick thing, and that's the game. Because I played Wii tennis, so I was like, oh, this is gonna be the same as Wii tennis. But it was not.
Were you the type of person when playing Wii tennis to only flick their wrists, or did you like put your whole arm into it?
No, I was the type of Wii player, like I would move around the whole room.
Yeah. I feel like if you're playing Wii Sport without doing all of the extra stuff, like why are you even playing?
Exactly, what's
like,
the point?
Take it seriously.
I am a serious Wii bowler. Oh my gosh, I remember spending so many afternoons playing Wii bowling and like just trying to knock the ball backwards to watch everyone do like their little Wii spin. Oh, that was so fun. Did you ever play like the Wii bowling?
Yes. My aunt would always borrow a Wii from like a movie rental store whenever I'd come over. And we would play Wii Sports on that together until I eventually got my own Wii.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was really sweet of her to do that.
My brother broke our overhead light because he used to jump while playing Wii tennis. Thankfully, we kind of had it like in the basement where there was no other furniture. My parents used to make us go down to the creepy basement to play Wii, so they could have peace and quiet upstairs.
Honestly, I totally get it. I totally get that.
Yeah, there was like no furniture. I think it was like a throw rug and then just a table with the TV and the Wii on it, and that was it.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Do you guys have any more questions for Kori? Otherwise, we could wrap it up and get you off to bed.
Oh, it's not that late for me. It's 8 p.m. So I'm not in a hurry to go to sleep. I just tend to be sleepy.
Yeah, I get it. The EP allegations, you can't get past them.
How long have you been interviewing people for? Like, when did you start?
I started in April or May, I want to say, because one day while I was playing a game, I was talking to another VTuber in the chat, and I was like, you know what? I just want to interview VTubers on like their thought process and experiences. So that's kind of how it started. And then like I had a bunch. I first only interviewed like my friends, and then I started reaching out to other people. The EP games.
Yeah, but the only interview show I've been on before this one was Horatius the Dwarves. He was in chat earlier. He's one of my friends. He has like a little interview show where he mixes in like psychology stuff with
neat.
the guests he's hosting. So yeah. that's the only interview show I've been on before.
What kind of psychology stuff? Is he like gaslighting you?
No. I meant he's a psychology like he's a mental health professional. So he talks a lot about mental health. Yeah.
I was like, is he using his psychology powers on you?
No. But he talks a lot about mental health. He does like lecture streams, and sometimes he gets VTubers on to discuss certain psychological or mental health topics that I want to talk about and discuss, or maybe bring more awareness to. And yeah, I was on and speaking about that with him once. It was very nice. It was very nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Sorry, my family's being pretty loud in the background.
No, it's all good. I totally get it. I mean, we did schedule this for like a weekend midday thing, so
normally like
all good.
They're not so loud, but my grandparents came over to visit. So they're talking in the background. But I actually minored in psychology, so I'm pretty interested in psychology and mental health too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'd be open to speaking to you sometime if you're open to it.
Yeah, I'd definitely be open to it. But I was just wondering, like, when you went on, what did you guys talk about? Did he talk about mental health with you, or were you guys just like talking casually?
Yeah, so we it was partially casually and partially about mental health. We spoke a bit about imposter syndrome and how it's hard to sort of accept success sometimes, especially when you're in a field that's so open.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was good. He also tried to catch me off guard with asking very specific questions about my past like vtubing stuff. And I was prepared for basically everything he asked me, which was very funny.
It's good you were prepared, because like I know when I'm caught off guard with a question, I'm like, what? He must have really done his homework then, or is he a longtime viewer, so he just like knew all this stuff?
I mean, he's a good friend of mine, but he also went and like looked through my old like posts and streams, trying to find something he can really catch me off guard with. I think he asked some of my moderators what sort of things he should ask me as well, and I was just. I was prepared for everything. No question he asked caught me off guard, I think.
That's
At least I don't remember any.
It's fun asking people things like their values, morals, whatnot. Yeah. I'm waiting for them to stop yelling.
Who inspired you to start VTubing? You said Moriko, right? But do you have any inspirations behind like your design as well?
So my design was kind of inspired by like, do you know what a candy striper is?
No.
So candy stripers are volunteers. Like they used to do it in like the 50s and 60s. They were hospital volunteers, and they would wear a certain uniform, and they would come in and like do things for the nurses or just keep patients entertained. So this is kind of like based off of a Lolita candy striper dress. And then the halo, because, you know, have the power to heal hearts. And I just thought the socks were cute. And I wear a lot of boots IRL. So I was like, oh, you know, I'll just wear boots. You don't really see shoes on stream most of the time anyway.
Yeah. I was so insistent on getting like a full body model, and then you never see anything above the hips anyway.
I know. It's so funny because like I was the same way. I'm like, if I'm doing it, I want my full body. I think it'd be weird to only have half a body.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want the opportunity to show it, you know, even if it might not come up very often.
What's one game you want to play on stream but haven't yet, and why?
Metal Gear Solid franchise. I played the first one. I streamed it. I loved it. It became one of my favorite games ever. I have not streamed any of the others for multiple reasons. So first, I tried looking for alternative means of getting Metal Gear Solid 2 because at the time the PC Master Collection wasn't out yet. I couldn't get it to work at all. Then the collection came out and I couldn't get it at the time, and also apparently it ran super poorly. And now it's been out. There's mods to fix it, and I just have not gotten around to it yet. But I really, really, really want to play it. I really want to play Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 eventually too, of course. But
I've heard it's a really good franchise. Aren't there like 7 of them now?
I don't know. Maybe. I think there's 5 Metal Gear Solid games, right? And then there's more Metal Gear games, but
because I've seen like Calliope Mori play it, and also some of the Niji people also really like Metal Gear. So it's kind of, but I knew about Snake before that.
Yeah,
but that was it. Like
I mean, he's a
I
very
only knew
iconic
about
character.
Snake.
Yeah, I love Metal Gear Solid 1. I'd love to play 2, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And with, you know, all the viewer redeems and stuff, I try to prioritize those as well sometimes. Yeah. And I just haven't had like a good time to play it, you know? But hopefully next year, early next year, hopefully, please, I will make the time.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't really think of much else. I mean, there's a lot of games that I've wanted to play for a while and haven't. I'm really just missing probably a push to do it. Like, for example, Hyper Light Drifter or Hotline Miami and stuff like that. I've never played. So, what about you?
I definitely want to play more of the Monster Hunter games because I really like World, so I want to try Rise. And I actually surprisingly like a few first-person shooters, so I'd like to play more of those sometime. Like
first-person shooters?
Yeah, like I like, a lot of people give me flack for this. I like Destiny 2.
Okay.
And I know apparently it's controversial to like Destiny 2.
I've tried Destiny 2, but it didn't click with me.
I like being able to just like go out and like shoot whatever, and you're not against other people, so there's no pressure.
Kori suggests DRG. Okay, have you heard of Deep Rock Galactic?
I have, but I don't know anything about it.
It's a co-op game where you're dwarves in space and you're out mining minerals. And you basically explore like a procedurally generated world or level, like a randomly generated level. And there's different objectives. Like, for example, one is just gathering materials, another is escorting a drill and stuff like that. And it's super fun and has a very sweet community. And it's really fun in co-op because, you know, you're dwarves, you have one common objective, and you shoot bugs.
Oh, that sounds really fun. I think I would love that.
Yeah, if you're ever down to play, you know, just say so.
Sure.
I would love to. It's super fun. I don't think it's very hard to get into either. I personally don't really like playing it solo. But with a few friends, I think it's super fun. It's a good game. It was a good recommendation and good to bring up.
I'd definitely be down to try it. Is Rock and Stone the same game or is that a different game?
Oh, Rock and Stone. There's a button inside the game that is dedicated to like a cheer. And the cheer is Rock and Stone.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
No, Corgi, I have not played Risk of Rain.
Now they're just all bringing up games that I like. Risk of Rain. I really like Risk of Rain 2. It's a third-person shooter though. It's a roguelike, sort of looter shooter / horde shooter, roguelike. So you defeat monsters. From the monsters you get money, and from the money you open chests, and then you get random items, and those stack. Most of them stack infinitely, and you can have some crazy high damage runs, and it's super addicting and super fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I just got Titanfall 2. People said if you like that, you'll like Risk of Rain.
I don't know. I haven't played Titanfall, but I think they're fairly different, actually. But I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know much about them. I'm still trying to learn more about games.
No. I mean, everyone starts somewhere. Don't worry. Risk of Rain 2 is like a bit more cartoony, if that makes sense. But it's really good fun, and the difficulty is customizable as well if you're struggling a bit. So.
Oh. Yeah, I'll probably end up struggling.
Yeah, I've played my fair share of first-person shooters. I mean, I mentioned earlier, I was very inspired by Payday 2, but I also like played a lot of CS:GO and Rainbow Six Siege when I was a teenager. Crazy amounts. So yeah, I used to very much like first-person shooters competitively. But lately I've just been playing games for fun rather than, you know, trying to get a certain rank or whatever. I don't have it in me to be competitive anymore.
Yeah, for me, the game is never competitive. It's just like, oh, I want to play. Oh, I died. Okay, let's do it again.
Other than Monster Hunter, do you have any games that you really like? And Destiny 2, I suppose.
I also really like Stardew Valley. I play it heavily modded because I wanted to make it really pretty. For me, half the point of playing a game is the customization because I grew up playing Webkins.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, you know about Webkins?
I've heard of them. I've heard of it.
I love them. I had so much fun playing that game, and also like Club Penguin. So those were like the two games that I knew, but I was never really a gamer. I like Star Citizen, which is like a space game, and there probably are more games. I just can't think of them.
I've heard of Star Citizen as well. Have you do you like space games in general?
I do. I like the space exploration theme.
Oh, I have a game for you. I have a game for you. Have you heard of Outer Wilds?
Yes, everyone keeps telling me to play it.
They're telling you to play it for good reason.
I think I've gotten like 5 or 6 people who are like, you have to try Outer Wilds, but not on stream.
If you not on stream, really?
Yeah, they keep telling me to do it not on stream. I'm like, but the only time I have to play games is on stream.
No, just play it on stream. Don't worry. I streamed it for the first time this year, and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. I think the reason why people tell you not to stream it is because they want you to experience it like completely blind your way without being like backseated or spoiled. And I think that's fair because the more I will say about Outer Wilds, the more I'm gonna run into spoiler territory because it is sort of that game that you just have to experience for yourself. But I will be honest, I think if you want to stream it, you just should and just play the game. And if you feel like you might enjoy it more by yourself later on, then just stop streaming it and play it yourself. But you know, it wouldn't harm you to stream it once or twice and just to see if you like it or not.
Yeah, I would definitely try it. Question for both of you, what games would you recommend each other to try?
Outer Wilds.
I'm not sure. Hang on, I have to like go into my Steam and look at my games because whenever someone is like, "Oh, what do you like?" I'm like, I don't know what's inside my Steam. Let's see. Surprisingly, I like American Truck Driver, even though I can't drive.
I also can't drive. I never got my driver's license.
Same. Oh, Crumble is really fun. Crumble is like a platformer, but it gets more stressful.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah, it gets faster. So like, you're just like blindly jumping onto things and hoping you make it to the next platform.
Great.
She drove us once we never recovered.
I would recommend you Outer Wilds because you said you like space exploration. That's basically the entire point of the game. Like it's space exploration plus mystery. So you're trying to like puzzle together things about the world.
Yeah.
And I think you would really like it if you like space exploration. There are some like scary parts, but you know, I managed to get through it, so I think you will too.
I hate scary things. People keep telling me to try Lethal Company, but then I heard Lethal Company has jump scares in it, and I'm not sure how to deal with that.
Oh man, I'm really bad with like horror games, and I played Lethal Company I think twice. I'm actually playing it again next week, and it is scary. I'm not gonna lie. I am quite scared when I'm playing it, but it's like immediately balanced out by the natural goofiness and comedy of the game, like the goofy animations, your friends talking, and everything. So
Yeah, people said it's a
it
lot
helps a
easier
lot.
with friends.
Yeah, yeah. I would never play that game by myself.
I probably would rather play it with friends just because of the jump scares and like knowing that they're there.
I would recommend you some more comfy games, but honestly, I don't think I've ever found another one that quite itched the scratch that Stardew Valley did.
Yeah.
Like I've tried a lot of farming sims since, and it just doesn't live up to Stardew Valley, you know? It's just not the same.
Yeah, I have tried other cozy games, but like same. They're just not as cozy as Stardew. Like I would say the only other technically cozy game would be Shiny Nikki or Shining Nikki. It's just a dress-up game.
Is it farming as well, or?
No, it's a dress-up game for adults.
I see. Oh, you know what I loved playing? But I don't even know when I last played this. I guess October apparently. They re-released Papa's Freezeria for Steam. Oh, I have 30 hours.
Games like those are just fun because they're like repetitive, but they're familiar, so you know them.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like such a good time, you know?
Yeah, I love playing games like that. This morning, last night, someone gifted me Garfield Kart, so I spent basically all this morning before stream playing Garfield Kart.
Oh my god.
I love it. Because I played a lot of Mario Kart in the hospital because they had this thing called the Starlight Foundation where they would bring you like a Nintendo, whatever it was, and you could play Mario Kart all day. So that's what I would do, and I would play against my dad. And I was like, did I make up being good at that? And then I was playing Garfield Kart. I'm like, no, I definitely still have the skills.
Nice, nice. Garfield Kart just looks like a lot of fun, to be honest. I played a little bit of it.
It's exactly like Mario Kart, but with Garfield. And I think you can play it with friends, right? Because there's like online matching sessions.
Yeah, but I never figured out how to set it up.
Yeah, I just played solo this morning, and I guess it's technically against the computer, but I was going through all the tracks. I was like, yes! I usually don't play games until I get on stream, but there's like 1 or 2 games that I'll actually play off stream, and those times, you know, when you just have like a quiet hour to play to yourself, sometimes it's so nice.
I very rarely play games outside of streaming myself these days. Like my friends would invite me on to play like Dark Tide or whatever, and I'd be too tired after like 1 round. Yeah. I don't know. I think I just enjoy doing it more on stream, to be honest. The only games I've been playing off stream are like maybe like co-op games with friends or Zelda randomizer or something. But yeah, I just enjoy streaming them too much, you know?
Yeah.
It's very rarely that I'll play a game just for myself. That being said, I did play through Disco Elysium in January of this year while I was taking a bit of a break. And I binged through the whole game by myself, and it was like genuinely like a great experience to just play that game for myself.
Yeah, I have that one, but I haven't tried it yet.
I don't know if I would recommend streaming that one, but you know, it's up to you. I do think it could make for some funny moments being streamed, but it's a lot to read, so I don't know how you feel about doing that on stream.
I did do a visual novel once on stream. I just like voice acted the whole thing.
Which one did you read?
Juniper's Knot?
I don't know that one. Okay, to be fair, I know like 3 visual novels. I probably shouldn't have asked, but
I also do not know many visual novels, but someone recommended that one. They're like, oh, it's free on Steam. You should try it. I was like, okay. And then I decided to just voice act the entire thing.
I played through 1 visual novel. Well, it's kind of a visual novel on stream, which was Pyre. It's by the same devs who made Hades, if you know that game.
Yeah, I do know Hades.
Yeah, it was the game they made before Hades, and I genuinely loved it, like start to finish. It was a nice experience. It was really fun. It's You're in purgatory and you're playing baseball to try and get out. Not baseball,
That's
basketball.
kind of weird, but interesting.
Basketball to try and get out. I know, it is weird, but it's very, very good. You forgot the KFC one. Oh, yes, and I read through the KFC one.
Oh, the KFC romance visual novel?
Yeah.
I've heard of that one, the infamous KFC.
It's pretty funny, honestly. I think it's only like 2 to 3 hours long, so it wasn't like terribly long to play through. So.
Oh, that's not
Pyre,
so bad.
yes,
then.
Pyre.
I'll have to check all those out. I'm like mentally making a list for myself.
Oh man, Pyre has such a special place in my heart. It was very good. I bawled my eyes out at the end. It was fucking amazing. It was genuinely so much fun. Especially because I'm like the type of person I really think over like dialogue choices in games in general. So I'm sitting there for like 15 minutes trying to pick a dialogue option that has no consequence whatsoever to the rest of the game.
No, I do the same thing though. Every time there's options for something, I'm like, oh, what do I do? This is gonna affect everything.
Yeah.
I can't pick one. It's the decision indecision.
I'm so indecisive in general.
Same.
But yeah.
If I leave it up to chat, they'll pick neither. They'll go, pick the one you want. And I'll be like, well, I want to do both. What do you want?
Or they'll pick the obviously wrong option that they think would be funny.
Yes.
So you can't just leave it to chat either.
But they don't realize that, like, for me, I don't care because I want to do both of them anyway. I'll put up a poll, then chat ties the poll. Oh my gosh, every time.
So true. Oh my god.
When I was trying to name my mascot, where is my mascot? Hang on. I was like, oh, I'll let you guys name my mascot, and then they were coming up with like Jim Bob, Joseph. I was like, what?
Oh,
why
cute.
why would you name it that? So this is Shishi.
I don't really have a mascot. I mean, I guess Mr. Tubbs is the closest I have to one, which is the little polar bear. But I do have like a chatter uniform for like the gang.
That's so cute.
And I never settled on like one fan name. So we have Criminal, Goonfy, what else? Governmental from Kori Maniac, Tubaholic. There's a lot of stupid names.
Goonfies.
But criminals.
Oh, that's a cute one.
Criminals and Goonfies are the two most commonly. Yeah, and Booze. So when I was still just a ghost, they used to be Booze because I thought that was cute. They're my Booze.
That is cute.
And then we had like a raid message that was like a pun on booze and alcohol booze.
That's
but
funny.
I still use that raid message because I haven't come up with a better one.
I just let chat decide the raid message most nights. I'm like, by the time I get to the end, I'm too tired. Like, okay, our raid message is either whatever I said last or whatever you guys want.
yeah, basically. Sometimes I also have a chatter suggest a really good one we go with, but
when chat suggests one, I'm 90% of the time I pick that one. Let's mix it up. Otherwise, it's just gonna be something silly.
No, I do like Goonfy and Criminal. I think they're really cute.
I like Goonfy and Criminal. I think those are both very clever because you're a kingpin.
Yeah, crime boss.
Crime boss Kori. It's a like really great theme because I think most VTubers pick like, oh, I'm the king of hell, and then you're a crime boss.
Yeah, I mean the Kingpin thing is just like because it's like it goes with Kori, right? Kingpin Kori. But I don't introduce myself as like a Kingpin or whatever. I just go crime boss. It's just like the title, a titled Kingpin.
I think the Kingpin is like the top crime boss.
Something like that, probably.
The crime boss organizer.
Sure. the lead person, right?
Yeah.
Higher up. But it's kind of like the equivalent of being like a pirate VTuber or something, and calling yourself captain, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Are you into true crime at all or no?
I used to be more so last year or earlier this year, but lately I haven't really been looking into it too much. I don't know why. I don't feel as drawn to it anymore, I suppose. But I do still get like the subscriptions, like the new videos coming in from the channels I'm subscribed to, and I just don't really feel like watching them anymore, I guess. Maybe it's also because like a lot of the time it's like so I don't really like watching the unsolved stuff. But what I really like
BuzzFeed
watching
Unsolved?
is like the well, BuzzFeed Unsolved I watched as well. Yeah.
I watched a lot
But
of those.
when I was like really into true crime, I watched a lot of like solved cases and then interrogations. I thought that was very interesting. Because you could actually see like how they think and try to weasel their way out of it, and then how the police catches them. But at some point, it's like I feel like it sort of has an impact on you, if even like subconsciously.
It does. It definitely does.
So eventually, I kind of like stepped away from it because I would just binge it all the time while I was working on other things, and I'm sure I'll go back to it eventually. But I was worried about like, what if this has like, I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna commit a murder or something, of course, but like, what if this is like contributing to like maybe anxiety, or maybe this is gonna make me have less patience for people, or make me less charitable or something. And at that point I was like, I don't know, if it's a genuine concern, maybe it's best to like step away, right? Even if it's not true.
It does affect you mentally, I think. Like, I was watching a lot of BuzzFeed Unsolved, which is just kind of like silly, goofy.
Yeah, I love BuzzFeed Unsolved.
And I thought it was so funny. They almost always solve the case, and the answer is right in front of them. But every episode, they're like, this case remains unsolved. I'm like, you have definitive proof of a ghost. You used the ghost box. You watched a thing fly across the room, and this is unsolved?
I don't know.
But yeah, and I see some true crime on like TikTok. It comes up, and that's kind of where I'll watch it. Like, I saw one today that there's a case going on in Guatemala of a missing person, and like some of the details are a little suspicious. But that's really the only true crime that I come across.
You know what like really pisses me off about those true crime like shorts or TikToks, and I don't blame them for it, because they are working with like a time limit, right? But it's like a person like teasing about a certain story, right? Like, I thought I've seen the worst until I saw this name of case, and then the video ends there, and then you have to scroll into the comments to see what it was about, and you have to read like a whole book full of text condensed into one little YouTube comment to see what they were talking about. And then we're like, and then when you're done reading, it's like, I wish I hadn't read that. Thanks.
Yeah.
This ruined my entire day.
There are so many like that where they ended on a cliffhanger, and then you go to the comments, and the comments are like, oh, she was eaten alive, and you're like, oh god, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I had not read that. Can I go back in time?
Yeah, but you also can't stop yourself from doing it again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to know.
I need to
eat me
know.
up. Eat me up probably was not a good choice of words, but yes.
Do you have a favorite case? Because I know some people do.
No, not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, I always
Do you?
No, I always find it a little bit weird when people are like, oh, this is my favorite murder. Like, why do you have that?
Yeah, it's like a real person died, you know? Like, this is something that happened in real life. Like I said, I like it more when they're like interrogating the person. And it's not always like a murder case or whatever. Like sometimes it's not.
Like they robbed a bank.
Yeah, or other things that I maybe shouldn't name drop. But you know, things that are not murder necessarily, or kidnappings or whatever. And it's just interesting to see them try to weasel their way out. And failing. But it's also like a lot of like, you can tell a lot of those people that commit those crimes aren't well off. Like they're not mentally healthy, right?
Yeah.
And obviously that is used against them in the interrogation, where due to their mental health, maybe they make certain mistakes or stuff. But it's like to sort of like either idolize or be like, oh, this is my favorite because they cracked it this way and stuff. I feel like it's just kind of weird to do, because like, again, like these individuals are not healthy, and then it's also that there were real victims to their crimes, right? Even if it's like
there
not
were
murder.
real
I think
consequences.
I think it's just kind of weird to be like, hey, this is my favorite mass murderer or unsolved murder case or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely a little weird when people are like,
yeah,
you know, it just feels like a desecration of the victim's memory.
Yeah, I mean, I that's not to say you can't have like a favorite like story about how a murderer was caught or whatever, because you know they should get their comeuppance. But I do think it's like weird to like, you know, oddly disrespectful. I
think it's weird when people idolize serial killers.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
They're like, oh, I could fix him. No, you can't. You quite obviously could not fix him.
Girl, this man killed his 7 other ex-girlfriends. You think you're somehow different? No, you're not.
Literally, you are not built different. You are soft.
Anyway, I'm literally in love with Goro Majima. No, I'm joking.
Look, fictional mass murderers are different.
No, that's different. Yes, that's different.
What's your zodiac sign? Nah, tell me who your fave serial killer. If I'm ever,
no, it's great.
If I'm ever gonna have a true crime story, it's gonna be when the dude pooped his pants and it led to his arrest. Yes. Oh. That's the only valid true crime story.
I think the funniest thing about watching true crime stuff is like, you know, what if you're ever in a situation like they are, and you're being interrogated, and then you're like, oh, now that I have watched all these true crime things, I know exactly how to act in an interrogation room.
Commit the perfect crime.
Absolutely not. I would just be fumbling over my words. I'd be like,
Literally would just be sobbing.
Yeah, no. No, it's odd.
I get nervous when a police officer looks at me. Like, did I commit a crime? Did I not pay for this water?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think everyone sort of feels that way.
Yeah.
It's nervous. Like, what if?
It's like when you're going through airport security and you're like, did I bring a gun with me? But you don't even own a gun.
Yeah. Nah, airport security in general is just nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it really is. And I always have to take liquids with me because it's medical liquids. So I'm going through and they're like patting me down. I'm like, ma'am, please buy me dinner first if you're gonna go that deep.
I once brought a Polaroid camera, like an old Polaroid camera, with me on a trip, and they had to like use like a magnetic like sheet and like rub it around the camera because they thought, oh, this could be a bomb, and I'm like, dude, look at me. Do I look like a terrorist? Like, I get they just have to do it for the sake of having to do it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a show I'm actually watching right now because I love documentaries. It's called To Catch a Smuggler. It's on Disney Plus. It's by National Geographic, and it's basically just about like airport security and border patrol and like how many drugs people are trying to sneak into the US and like all the clever ways that they tried. Like someone wrapped their drugs in like plastic wrap and then hid it inside a candle, and they had like actual candle wax at the top so you couldn't see the plastic wrap. And it went through security. And they're like, oh, this looks a little sus inside. We're gonna pull this person over and interrogate them. And then they do this test where they like cut it open and put it in a little bag. And if the bag turns a certain color, it's positive for drugs. And they're like, oh yeah, this guy was trying to sneak in like pure Colombian cocaine, 7 pounds of it. And you're like, what? 7 pounds of cocaine inside a candle?
A little candle?
Inside this little candle? It's really crazy. And these people, you know, sometimes I sympathize with them because they start crying.
Well, I gotta take that off list of possible ideas. No, I'm joking.
And then they find it in everything, like things you would not suspect. They got me.
I mean, people get oddly creative about these things, right?
They do.
Because a lot of money is on the line for them, so.
Yeah. That reminds me about the show about smuggling in my country. Dude almost got in with a car that was like 60% cigarettes. Yeah, cigarette smuggling is a big thing because of the taxes on it. So you could sell them cheap and make a huge profit. That's why it's illegal to smuggle cigarettes. And also, apparently, it's illegal to carry more than $10,000 in cash on you. I didn't know that was a thing until watching the show, and a surprising amount of people do.
I mean, I get the law behind that, though. I do understand the law behind that, though. Because, like, if you're carrying around that much cash, it's very likely it's not for legal purposes, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be more like a precaution than a real law, you know?
And their line of questioning is really interesting too, because they'll be like, they'll ask you things and you don't expect it. So they'll be like, you went on vacation, but you only had $500 on you and you only make $300 a month. This doesn't make sense. The questions, you know, they're not, the answers aren't lining up. And I'm just sitting there like, how did you put this all together? What are the dots? Because I'm just so confused.
I would be terrible at figuring shit like this out too, honestly.
Same.
Like, I already get like weirdly self-conscious when I have to do simple math on stream. I can't imagine like trying to catch.
I still do math on my fingers. For everyone they catch, think of how many get away. So boss, where am I stashing this copium?
Under the mattresses.
Yes, boys. 10,000 can look like a lot with smaller bills and makes you look like a big target. I guess that's true. Always interesting seeing how smugglers hide their stuff. I remember one episode with cigarette smugglers who used hollow parts of a car like the doors or metal plates under the seat. They were that desperate for cigarettes. That's pretty incredible. Human ingenuity and all that. But guys, don't commit crimes. If you're gonna commit crimes, don't confess them on the internet.
Probably.
Do you guys have any more questions for Kori? Anything you want to know? Are you anything you're dying to ask? Like, if you could have dinner with any famous person, who would it be?
I don't know. They say never meet your heroes, right?
That's true.
I don't know. Honestly. Like, a lot of people would probably say, oh, Jorma. Kori, go you have dinner with Jorma. No, I would meet Jorma and I would crap my pants, okay?
Are you a big Jorma fan?
Yeah. Jorma is what can be considered my Oshi.
Sweet. Favorite payday mask? Bacon would like to know.
Clovers, probably. I played Clover in Payday 2.
Do you have any games on your phone? Corvus the Greedy would like to know.
Oh, maybe? I think I might have the League of Legends mobile game on my phone still.
League? Kori was a theater kid, right?
Yes, I was part of my school theater in elementary school, and I think in kindergarten as well.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I was also a theater kid. I loved the stage, and I also had social anxiety, so it was like a love-hate relationship.
Your most embarrassing story in theater days? That's the thing, I don't really have an embarrassing story. I don't remember kindergarten, to be fair. I played some sort of bird in one of the plays that's very popular with children. In
Mhm.
elementary school, we did The Jungle Book and a circus. I was the narrator for Jungle Book and the circus director. And then we did Mamma Mia, obviously
I
a
love Mamma Mia.
child-friendly version of Mamma Mia, where I was one of the aunts. And there
Mhm.
weren't really any embarrassing stories. Like, I actually really enjoyed doing it. It was really fun. And actually, I have one. Wait, I may have one embarrassing story. I tried doing. Oh my god, I was obsessed with High School Musical.
I also
I
loved High School
tried.
Musical.
I tried organizing like a High School Musical thing
Mhm.
in school, and where my classmates would play various characters from, you know, the movie.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was embarrassing because I remember trying to sing one of the songs on stage and being so flustered that I ran off. Because for the other shows we didn't actually sing the music. We just danced if it
Mhm.
applied. And I don't know, I was so young. I didn't even speak like proper English back then.
I
But
love that.
it was I mean, it's cute. Like, looking back, it's definitely like a child,
Yeah.
like a cute child thing to do, but like
Reminds me of my 3rd grade friendship.
Did you have a kindergarten crush?
No. In 3rd grade, I showed my friends the Lizzie McGuire movie. And there's like one song in it that's kind of iconic. And we decided for our school talent show, we were gonna sing it together. It was me and 2 friends. And then we couldn't decide who got whose part. And it became a whole drama. So one of the girls quit. And it was just me and my other friend. And then we decided we didn't want to sing that song. And we were gonna sing Mulan instead. So we were just like these 2 children singing Mulan on stage, dressed in like whatever Chinese costumes our parents could buy.
No.
Yeah.
Was it fun at least?
It was very fun. Weebs, yeah. We were like theater weebs, I guess you could say.
Any big projects in the works that you can talk about or hint about? One came up earlier. If you have been around for the whole thing, you might remember. I'm not gonna repeat it now. And the other, I am working on the December stuff. So at the end of December, they're doing like a Twitch end of the year bonus round, and I'm trying to finalize some goals and stuff for that, just to do something for it. I don't really expect things to go crazy because we did the Zelda-thon. But honestly, like, the one new project that I'm going to start working on soon is not something I want to share until it's done. So news on that might be a little while off, but it is related to Valentine's Day if everything goes well.
Special Valentine's Day stream.
Maybe. I mean, okay, so my community gets worried when I mention Valentine's because for my first ever Valentine's stream, I set up a fake restaurant scene where it looked like I was having dinner with chat. And then I zoomed out the overlay, and on the other side of the table was like every fictional character I like ever, like 50 or 70 of them. And then I dragged in a picture of a waiter, but the waiter's head was like a chat window.
That's so funny.
And then this year I did a GFE stream, but GFE in this case stood for Grapefruit Education Stream. So I held a PowerPoint about grapefruits. And then we watched baking and recipe videos about grapefruit. So
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah, so chat always gets worried now when I bring up Valentine's Day plans because they're like, what is she going to do now?
What unhinged thing will Kori do next? We have to mentally prepare.
Yeah. Other than that, no real plans. I mean, I still want to do my award show as well. So last year we did the Kori Awards, where we sort of talked about our favorite things we did that year, like favorite games I streamed from the viewer's perspective and from my perspective, just to sort of reflect on the year and stuff. I'd like to do that again, and obviously the end of the year bonus round, as I've mentioned before, and Valentine's. Those are sort of the big plans I have at the moment, but I can't share too much at the moment still.
It's top secret.
What about you? What about you? Are you working on anything?
I have my big stream tomorrow, and that's really all. I've been working on it since August. Basically, it's a murder mystery that chat is gonna completely control to solve the clues. There's 10 clues, and then if they solve it, they save me. If they don't solve it, I guess I'll graduate or something. I don't know.
If they don't solve it, then maybe you can give them hints, or if they don't solve it at all, I guess it'll just be an unsolved mystery.
Yeah. Well, guys, you're gonna be on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries if you don't do it.
And that's tomorrow?
Yeah, that's tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. It's my 1-year anniversary stream.
I saw you post teasers on that on Twitter and stuff. I'm really excited. I hope I can catch a little bit of it, but it might be really late for me.
It probably is a little bit late, but if you do come, I would love to see you there, or it'll, you know, be up. The VOD will be up for a while.
What time is it for you right now, ish?
It's 3:49 p.m. for me.
So it would be in 4 hours from now? Tomorrow?
A little less than that? No, yeah. Probably about 4 hours.
Yeah, that's really late for me. I'll at least try and say hi when it starts, but I'll might check out the
No
vlog.
pressure, because you know that's probably like 3 a.m. for you.
It's 1 a.m. for me.
Yeah, that's really late. Tenshi dies and becomes a Goonfi in her new life. In August, I was talking to Mr. Soffit, and I said to him, I'm like, what if I did a murder mystery for my 1-year anniversary and like frame a few VTubers? And he's like, well, you're gonna need other VTubers for that. And then I started thinking, I'm like, this is just, you know, a silly idea at that point. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it. So I started like writing down a script and then making it. I learned how to use like new things so that chat can play games and like use commands to play games. So it's gonna be interesting, and I hope they like it.
That sounds really fun. I'm sure they'll love it. I'm sure they'll love it.
And there's
I'm interested in seeing how it all comes together.
I'm excited. I'm nervous because it's also like, you know, hitting a big milestone.
I mean, a year's a long time having done something new, right? So
yeah, and not giving up on it. Because I was worried in the beginning. I'm like, is this just going to be an ADHD hyperfixation where I really like it for like 3 months and then I'm done with it? But no, I've actually really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad that I keep coming back and streaming more.
it can be so overwhelming when you first start as well.
Yeah. It was really overwhelming, and then like eventually you feel like, oh, I've got the hang of this. I can just, you know, go live now, and then, you know, but there's still that little initial panic where you're like, do I have everything right? Am I accidentally gonna dox myself? New arc. Yeah, this is a new arc anniversary.
Right, well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks.
If no one else has any questions.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Do you mind if we take a picture before you go?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely not. I mean, I don't mind. Would you like me to move my model, or?
No, you're good right there. Don't worry. All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Hooray!
Yeah,
you stared.
Yeah, you were able to ask questions. Horatius. Who's the bigger Oshi? What do you mean?
Oh, NL or Germa, who's the bigger Oshi? Like, what streamer I like better? Oof, that's a hard question. I've been watching NL for longer, actually, but I think Germa is my favorite.
I've heard of Germa, I've seen clips, but I've never actually watched any of his streams. I've never heard of NL before.
NL is Northern Lion.
Oh, okay. Still never heard of him.
He's Northern Lion is like your stereotypical middle-aged white dad, but he's very funny. I highly recommend checking him out. He has a lot of like roguelikes and stuff. Uploads a lot of stuff to YouTube. I think he's genuinely hilarious. Germa is more so Northern Lion's very good at like going on rants and tangents about anything really, including his life experience.
Yeah.
And Germa is just an unhinged, I don't even know what word would describe it. He's very unhinged, chaotic, goes off of chat memes and does a lot of like event streams as well. I am incredibly inspired by both NL and Germa. And I watch them more than I watch VTubers actually.
Question for Kori, how do you hide your cat ears so well?
They're not real, see? They're cardboard.
That's so funny.
I just take them off.
That's such a great toggle. Last question, when are you eating that slice on the table?
As soon as the camera turns off. I'm devouring that thing.
Gotcha. Thanks, Kori. Thank you, Kori. Very cool. This does bring us to the end of the stream. Thank you again for being here.